Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I am Mr. C, a Viroko critic. I hope you're doing well and we are back to doing films. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But first, I hope you listen to the other episodes. Don't be skipping. Don't be skip. Even though they will skip you in. No, they won't skip you. You can just, I'm just saying, if you, just in case you haven't noticed, there are a few episodes, like four have dropped today. Please listen to us if you have time. If not, if this is the only thing you want to listen to, okay, that's fine. Um, anyway, this is us back to discussing films, and we're going to be doing it for the next couple of weeks because a few films have dropped. So, yeah, it should be fun. We're back to our usual ways. A lot of people missed this, so I hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing a Lagos love story. So, welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We do discuss Nollywood topics, and sometimes we discuss Nollywood movies or TV series. Um, Today, we'll be discussing a Lagos love story. We'll discuss what we liked in the good, we'll discuss what we don't like in the bad, we'll disagree in the pushback, and we'll do a summary at the end. So, uh, um, just bear in mind, if I put my hand up, that is your sign that you've been going on for a minute and it's time to reel it in.
And if he mutes you,
that's okay. All right. So, Vanessa, do you want to tell us what you liked about a Lagos love story?
What I liked is quite a rich. Um, I guess I okay. Um, Jemima Osunde is very pretty. Uche Montana is very pretty. Micah Folari very pretty. And yes, a man can be pretty. Micah Folari is very pretty. Um, who else is very? Hey, what's her name? Is her name Sharon? The girl who plays Jemima's sister, also very pretty.
Susan.
Susan Pajok, exactly. I knew it was an S and it ended with an N. Somewhere, all the letters in between. Apologies, Susan. Um, very pretty. Who else is very pretty in this film? Linda Ejiofor, very pretty. Now, did certain things occur? Sure, we will talk about the things that happened to Linda in the B part of this session. But a genuinely pretty woman. VE, very pretty. Um, yeah, thanks.
Wow. Okay. A bunch of people are pretty. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, actually, let me say one thing. No,
Okay.
actually, no, this film does not deserve it. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Jesus. The blood. Okay. So is it Elizabeth as next? Elizabeth, please, can you tell us what you liked about a Lagos love story?
Hi. So I liked a couple of things actually. So first, I think one of the first I'll just say King Kator and Promise Forever. I really liked their faces. Let's start with that. But I like times where they it feels like they are self-directing themselves. I really do like it because it comes off really natural and it's not often. But that's when I knew that you know what, Kinkita and Promise could be a thing. Could have been a thing in maybe another director's hand. But I like that the dynamic of is you often find that where he times when he finds that I don't want to use the word cute or maybe incredulous and he just shakes his head. I always feel like rather this scenes feels natural and of course it's not sustained. But there are times where together when it feels like that self-directing themselves, it feels natural and I really like them or the potential of what could have been. So King Kito and Promise, Heart Sign. Another thing that I like here is apart from the fact that this is the first Ink Blot movie that is inoffensive to me, Every other one has been really offensive, I promise you. Inoffensive in the sense that the problem here obviously is the director, but it just isn't as I'm not bothered about it. I like the depiction of Lagos here. Unlike so many Lagos themed films we've had, unfortunately we had, or was it? Yes, unfortunately we had something similar, Christmas in Lagos and Christmas in during Christmas. And one of my criticism was that it feels like it just doesn't feel like a cityscape, like a film about a city. The difference here is you consider it's still pretty curated, but it just feels more natural as opposed to oh, they've gone to do a party somewhere where we don't see Lagos. Sometimes we see their streets. There's effort in trying to show us um there is a memorial, there is a party on the block. We have the yachts, is a Lagos thing. See Kator go back to where I grew up in, favorite places to eat. Of course, if it's curated, but a little bit more legacy than what we usually get. Another thing that I like, which is bringing me very close to the end of all the things that I like in here, is okay, we really don't like intentions, right? Because I was about to talk about there is a dynamic of a story here in what Lagos means to two different sisters. I would have said there is something there for for the theme, for the sub theme, right? So we have two sisters, one that is trying to hold on to the old, and another one is trying to break in with the new. And how this, again, maybe in the hands of a different director or writer, this could have been better elevated, where they're both going to do something to, one wants to hold on to her mom's legacy, wants to hold on to, this is what Lagos feels to me, this is what it used to be. And there's one is like, nope, yeah, I'm going to roll in with the new guys, there's a novo rich. I really love that. There was something that should have happened there. That's why I'm using the word should have happened. Would have been good if it was properly explored. But yeah, I would have liked to see something like that. So maybe that, let's just see that's something that I like ish.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Let's see who's next on the list. Is Olan, I believe. Olan, please tell us what you liked about A Lagos Love Story.
Hmm. Good evening, guys. So, what I liked about the Lagos love story, I'm going to pick up from where Elizabeth kind of started off on. I liked the opening scene when they showed the whole Favor running late for her thing with Promise, and then the bus broke down, which was a very Lagos thing to happen. So I like that they included that. I like the use of Afrobeats in this. Our Stars Lagos Love song playing while the movie titled Lagos Love Story is actually starting. I thought that was really smart. I also liked hearing Chike and Rema on this, and I feel like the music was infused in the right scenes. I also liked, as usual, Mike Afolarin and his cheekbones. I will always like Mike Afolarin and his cheekbones wherever I see them. He's very pretty, like Vanessa said, and I enjoyed seeing him. And to God be the glory for his creation. I also liked Ike and his voice. I was watching it and I was like, okay, when I heard Ake's voice, I was like, ah, yeah, the voice, the voice. I thought that was, I thought it was a delightful watch the few times he did show up on my screen. And I liked Uche Montana in this because she did bring her A game. She was very bougie in this and she really did the bougie well as usual. She had the whole facial expression thing going. She had the mannerisms. I thought she did very well. And Linda also. I liked Linda because her character had a pattern and a purpose, and I got that this was the annoying boss. And I think she executed the role quite well. So, yeah, those are my likes.
Okay. Thank you, Olana. Who is next, Miss C? Up next we have Marshmallow. Marshmallow, please tell us what you liked about Illegal's love story.
Sure. So I will echo Vanessa's point by saying that the girls look beautiful. I thought, whether it was makeup or however they were shot, all the girls looked really pretty, and yeah, that's usually nice in a rom com. I liked V's portrayal of a character. I don't know. I get it. I know that girl. She's usually not like the queen bee of the group, but she's just nasty for classist. If I use a term that most people will recognize. Um, I also found Uti's character to be very annoying, extremely annoying, but I don't think it was because you know he no, it's
Since
a
you
lie.
like
I liked it. Honestly, I it was annoying to me, but then I thought, oh, okay, like I get it. I think his character is supposed to be annoying. Not because I think he acted it well or anything, but I just felt like, oh, okay, like all things being equal, if the story if everything else went well, like this would have been an annoying character and it added a bit to the story, I think, in some way. So I'll give it to them. I thought that was something good. Then, lastly, and I just want to give this to them because, trying to find good things to say. I think it was beautiful. It was, no, 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 it was colorful. Um, they put in an effort to make some of the scenes really felt like magazines, like glossy magazines. And so, yeah, that was nice. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, thanks, Marshmallow's glossy magazines. MMA or MMA, I don't know how to call you, but you're up next. Please tell us what you like about A Lagos Love Story.
Hi, the only thing I'd say I liked was the use of Ira's Illegals love story. I think that's what it's called throughout the film. I think that was pretty good. It made me really happy to see that.
Okay, another quick one. Another quick one. Is it High Priestess? All right, High Priestess, please can you tell us what you liked about A Lagos Love Story?
Hiya. So I actually liked a few things, surprisingly. I liked the story. All the elements were there, so you could tell that the story should have worked. I liked the story. Um, I liked that um it was set in Lagos, but it could also be anywhere. The emphasis on Lagos wasn't as overwhelming as a lot of these things are. Like it's a story that could have worked anywhere. They didn't throw Lagos in our face, which was really cool. I thought. Uh I appreciated the attempt at building. So we have the main stories, have all these little other things going on in the background, which was refreshing. So it all goes back to the fact that I think all the elements for the story was there. And that is it.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. C, who is next? Is Otas? All right, Otas, please tell us what you liked about A Lagos Love Story. Otas, are you there? All right, Otas is not there. Unuka, do you want to tell us what you liked about A Lagos Love Story?
Hi, good evening. So I liked the story. I feel like they had something nice to work with. I liked the storyline with the siblings, the sister, that's the Taylor girl, and the one that is a concierge. Yeah, they're sisters. Yeah. So I like their dynamic sometimes. I like that existed outside of the romance story. So that was really interesting to watch. And I did like the storyline with the other babe who wanted her sister's brand. So I liked that whole thing that was happening in the background, the subplots and all of that. I felt like they were interesting. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nduka. Wolf of Brook Street, please tell us what you liked about A Lagos Love Story.
Okay, hi everybody. So first of all, I loved the soundtrack that followed the film. I liked the interpretation of art. Like I think someone said earlier, the film had different scenes that looked like it was a cutout of an art magazine, of an art book. I liked the entire promotion of the film. I also liked Jemima and Mike loved the plot. I I like the story. I think it's the first time Afrobeat has been properly portrayed. There's been a fair portrayal of Afrobeat in Nigerian film. Like there was not this over the top portrayal of him as a big artist. Like you could tell that he was just a regular everyday artist you can run to on the streets of Lagos. Yeah, I like the casting. So it was a fair try, and I like the film. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And Edwin, I think please tell us what you liked about A Lagos Love Story.
Good evening, everyone. So Lagos Love Story. I think the primary thing I liked about Lagos Love Story, is the fact that it was written by somebody not really in the industry like that. So there was an external POV, which because we know that there is a lot of recycling of ideas from the people who are career scriptwriters in the industry. So it was, you could tell that somebody who was outside of the industry, who had a different perspective, who was a writer, had something to do with the original script. The perspective was very different. It was more grounded, I would say. Now execution is another thing, but the idea was a lot more grounded. It was a lot more personal. I really liked Michael Folarin's casting. I think that this is the kind of characters he should be playing, a bit rough at the edges, but very charismatic. It really played to his strengths as an actor. His Igbe Raja nature was really beneficial to the character and the story. I also really liked, what's her name? Susan Poajok. She that was really good casting as well. She has that, I don't know, she's like a firebrand, and the character that she was asked to play, it aligns with the kind of her strengths as well. So for the most part, there was a lot of like good casting where people played to their strengths. And yeah, and then finally, just like the visuals of the film, it was very colorful, to use the word that Sally used. It was a very colorful film, and it was colorful in the way that the story is actually colorful, as opposed to the color being like a representation of wealth versus poverty. It was just colorful, as Lagos is a colorful place. Lagos is a very vibrant place, and they were able to somehow capture that in the storytelling. So I like that as well. Now, whether that was a net positive or negative is something else entirely, but yeah. So those were the things I liked. I liked the casting. I liked the fact that um, Nollywood take a chance on somebody that was not, part of the industry and trying to sell a script. And also not that Nollywood and Afrobeats finally intersected in a way that was somewhat believable. Because a lot of times when they use Afrobeats in Nollywood, it's often very disjointed. But this was a story that kind of integrated that, and who better to integrate than Ira Star, who really, really embodies like the very youthful nature of new generation Afrobeats. So those are the things I really liked about the film.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Edwin. I don't know if Latas is back. If she's not back, Mrs. C, do you want to tell us what you liked about A Lagos Love Story?
Sure. What I liked about A Lagos Love Story, I'm going to reiterate what everyone has said with the beauty I did really appreciate all of the beauty. Jemima's such a pretty girl. Susan's beautiful. And yeah, Micah Folarin, I think he did look good. And I think he was a good casting for this if, someone had taken the time to actually direct the actors. I like the premise in just the basic rom-com or basic romance type premise. Potentially mismatched with the name, but I did like the premise. I think there's a simple enough story in there, right? That just required direction and execution, and yeah. Anywho, what else I like? I'm reaching, but like there's this little bits towards the end where, is her name Priest? Promise, where Promise and like his big groupie, big friend, right, seem to have some sort of friendship. And I thought that was cute. I think they could have done, more with it, but I did like that idea of her having an ally and a friend within that group that seemed to be very, hostile to her. And it could have been a cute little thing to develop and pepper throughout the story. And you know what? After hearing it 74 times, Badass Fontaine grew on me, but only the Badass Fontaine part.
Okay, all right. Going to read what other people have liked from this. Ernta says the good it ended, classic. Terrence says the sisters pairing and their names, the Afrobeat. I like Mike Afolarin in this. He carried the film and the romance on his back, literally. I like the young sisters subplot. I wish we saw more of her life instead. And finally, the fashion show. Ricky says, I liked when Jemima Osunde was recording at the party and they were playing Timaya's as they paint them. They suit us. That was a funny part. And Snacks season said, I like that the character Shege wasn't one-dimensional as a typical artist groupie boy. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, is this what Otasis like?
Yeah.
All right. Otasis has sent her likes in. I like the painted rocks on the beach. Didn't notice that. Interesting. I like that it was written by Ozzy because this is an Ozzy Stan account. Okay, interesting. I wonder what your bad is going to look like. Walmart Asake could definitely make a living as an Asake impersonator since acting isn't a serious hobby for him. Wow.
That's a sneak.
That's a sneak. Wow. Jemima is a kitty, and there were a lot of pretty women, not as many pretty men. Okay. All right. And Crown says, I like their names, Favor and Promise. It was realistic for the kind of Nigerian family they portrayed. I like Chege, actually likes Promise. I also liked the subplots with Favor and Adana. The story was surprisingly cute, and I liked the Achike Nepo baby exploitation part. Okay.
I agree with the Favor and Promise.
Okay.
Those are very Nigerian names.
Yeah. All right. So for me, outside of beauty and stuff, I think the things that I liked about this were things somebody has mentioned in terms of the gloss. It's not only just because of gloss sake. I think the genre is dealing with, that's the look it should be going for. So it's not just that it's glossy. It's like, it is appropriate. I think sometimes we do gloss where it's not appropriate. You're just having gloss for gloss sake, because that's sometimes the only thing we know how to do. So yeah, I thought the gloss worked here, whether intentionally or unintentionally. I thought one of the, I think somebody just mentioned in the groupie this thing, but one of the guys, the guy that wasn't two-dimensional, the groupie guy, or the guy in the gang, right? I thought he actually had all the behavior of one of these people that follows like popular, like just like one of the groupie guys. I just thought like he did really well, and I don't know whether it's because he's been one or he's just really good at acting. I thought I was actually kind of impressed with him, and I liked how he did it without being too loud, which is usually what we tend to go for when you want to act. You just shout. So I thought that was nice from him. Is there much other? There are not too many sucky performances in here. I don't know how much of a like that is, but sometimes I guess in Nollywood, sometimes we can get dragged down by a lot of very bad performances from key roles, and everybody is pretty, like people have said. And the Afro, I think the Afrobeats in this, I think works for the song. It was repeated a little too much for me, which shows a little lack of it feels repeating it feels a little insecure, but I thought the song was fine. It was fine. It passes for the kind of thing we're going for. All of this is shallow, but it's fine. This is the genre where you can be a little bit just shallow and surface level, just a little bit, right? Like, so I was fine with the song from here, and yeah, that's about it from me. Maybe like a couple of the places that the artists were. They felt like all these either hotels or places that they stay just before they jet to the next. It felt good. Um, and yeah, the cast was also okay. Okay, if I like saw the list of these people and they told me what the plot of the story or the synopsis of the story of this film, I would have like, that's not a bad cast. That's a good cast. That makes sense. All right. Okay. Is that everything? 12 people and we did it in 30 minutes. That's okay. All right.
Just thing for the bad.
All right. For the bad, let's go. Vanessa, please lead us into.
Sorry, guys, I was falling asleep, kind of how I did when I was watching the film. Yeah, guys, it took me 2 days to watch this. I initially my plan was to watch it today, just before the space. And sorry, I'm adjusting because I was genuinely about to take a nap. Um, I said I was going to watch it today, and then I realized I'm putting myself through trouble, so I decided to start it yesterday. And yeah, I had to stop halfway through because I found it a bit unconscionable. I appreciate, and I did almost say this in the good, and I realized I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not seeing intentions, I'm not seeing premises, I'm not giving people pass marks based on the fact that they have the bare bones of what could have been a good story. I'm not doing that. While on paper, if we're saying bare bones, skeletal, this had all the makings of what could have been a good rom com. It had forced proximity on the fact that she was forced to work with him. That was not the intention. It had two attractive leads. It had, the makings of a small town girl meets big time person. They fall in love. Wonderful. Genuinely, on paper, had the makings of what should have been a good rom com, and it wasn't. So I'm not gonna give applauses for bare skeletals of what could have been. I'm not giving applauses for the imagination of everyone putting together things in their mind than what was shown on screen. All of you who watched this thing weeks ago and thought it was fine. Yeah, it just I don't people are talking about they loved the opening scene where they ran into each other and they meet cute. It didn't cute. I'm sorry, I don't understand how your leads faces are 2.5 centimeters away from each other and I can feel jack shit. There was not an inkling of tension or chemistry, nothing palpable. Many times their faces came within centimeters of each other, and it was nothing there. There was nothing there. I'm Sorry, I'm not even. I don't. If I'm in front of Mike Afolarin's face, haba, haba. If I'm in front of Jemima Osunde's face? Come off it now. Sorry, no, 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 no. I don't know. So for as bad as it bad, they don't get chemistry. Like, you can't build romance off of nothing. You don't just bring romance out of thin air. That's not how it works. And this film just there are so many. Yeah, people are talking about themes of leaving the past behind, moving on to the future, one thing, bobo to go. So many things were picked up on that were started and never completed. We start this whole thing with suppose what's his face's dynamic with Achike the billionaire, a billionaire that we only meet maybe two times in this film, and we're wondering, okay, why start telling us this supposed dynamic where this rich man somehow has this hold over our artist, our main guy, who apparently turned down $50,000 to play in Madison Square Garden, and somehow some random billionaire in Lagos has a hold on him. But then the billionaire disappears from the film after two scenes, after somewhat humiliating him at a private party, and then we just abandon it. We don't know what's going on. And Linda Ejiofor's character has a 2x4 lodged up her posterior for the entirety of the film for no reason. For no reason. Speaking about Linda Ejiofor's character, I know I said Linda Ejiofor is a beautiful woman, and she is. Edakun, who put her in the clothes that she was in? The only time Linda Ejiofor looked good on this screen, in this film, was that scene at the party in the purple dress. After that, everything downhill. When Promise first, when she came to the office for interview the second day, who put her in that coat? Because I don't think that is a suit. Koshe suit, purple lilac suit. If I have God, it cut her off, made her look shorter than she is. What? And you people are saying glossy, glossy, glossy up and down when the costume didn't glossy. Sorry, I don't understand. I, I, and then things were just happening. Mary and Shelley, things were just occurring. Because I don't know how we got our first kiss. The way things just devolved. So we go from her This is my thing in it. Yeah, you people do nothing throughout this film. I know there's moments where he shakes his head and he finds her incredulous and he thinks she's cute or whatever. Bond that. But aside from that, we don't see anything developing between them enough that she comes into his room, taps him and says, Ogbeni, stand up, party, please do this for me. And he says, okay. Why? What about their relationship throughout this entire film tells us that he is willing to do anything she says? What? And then they go to this on the thing that she's gonna dress up and be his date. How and why? So they go to the thing. Something happens. They embarrass him. Whatever. Gives him an envelope to make him feel small. Oh, so sad. Poor him. And then somehow he decides to walk along the streets of Lagos because he doesn't think he's famous. And guys, and then she's walking and begging him, slow down, slow down. And then he gets to one point, she's trying to convince a taxi driver to get him in. Guys, this is how this scene happened though. Trying to convince him to get in a taxi. And then all of a sudden, from nowhere, he has an impromptu concert with people of the streets because he's a man of the people. And then same man of the people, throws money in the air, you know? And then she comes and she's screaming at him for not preserving the dignity of the people who he claims he's the man of. And then somehow there, I think you are very sorry, guys. I know you people say director didn't direct, and of course it is Nas. So obviously, I don't know who told you people that Nas can direct. Okay, but then obviously Nas didn't direct that scene because I don't know how that scene went, and somebody told Mike Afolarin that his delivery of that line was correct. I think you're cute when you're angry. Promise, I just told you you're cute. Okay, she should now do what? You told her that she's cute when she's angry. She should do what with that information. Oh God, man, I'm sorry. And then he pulls her into what is genuinely the worst on-screen kiss in the history of Nollywood. I don't care. Come and fight me. They genuinely, it remains small for their teeth to smash into each other. That's how bad that kiss was. I don't even think that thing was a kiss. They just put mouths together. What? Why? Why? And then you people's Posh Ashake with Charlie Poppy lyrics went into his hotel room, and all of a sudden the ministration of the Holy Spirit came upon him, and he was going to release music and record music, and then that's the music that he recorded.
His love.
No, that's the music that came out of that moment, that kiss. And then Uchi Nwachukwu's character had the effrontery to say he made that song in 5 hours. Look, yes, obviously we can tell he made that song in 5 hours. It is shit. It is a horrible song. Of course, he made it in 5 hours. He made it in 5 hours because that song is horrid. And that is supposedly the love song. That's the serenading song. Stop it. Stop it now. I need all of you to get a grip. Get a grip. And I'm gonna do a nitpick here. I don't know who chose the names for these characters. Yes, Promise and Favor sound like Nigerian name, but where did they get this one name? Quest. One. Two. What kind of stupid name is King Kator? Because now you people are doing ship. I've been seeing people doing ship all over the internet for the past 2 days, and you people have been calling it what were you people calling it? Preto? I've been a practo or whatever this.
Prakata Tumba.
Sorry. You people really think that that's a cute ship name? The ship name is as cute as the ship itself because both of them are horrible, ugly ship. The ship didn't ship. What are you people doing? Why are you people I'm not even speaking on the acting performances because everybody knows how I feel about Jemima Osunde's acting. Everybody knows I'm on the fence with Micah Folari. Uti Nwachukwu has never been good and will never be good. It's not cause. It's a reality. Um, yeah, guys. And then we just snowball into some nonsense. There's people who are just hanging around for no reason. Why was Shams Garba in this? Why was Shams Garba in this? Why was Uche Montana in this? I'm sorry, for what? If you're not gonna pursue this whole thing about people taking advantage of, because I'm sure they was supposed to tie in with billionaire Achieke taking advantage of our lead in a way we don't understand. You don't start stuff up and then don't finish it. VA was just there for no reason. Why are these people in this film? For what? Then what now happened? Something happened. Fight broke out. I don't know how the fight broke. Whoa, Edakun, everybody will be all right. Me, I didn't know. I'm okay. I'm even finished. God said there's nothing to say again.
Jesus. All right. Okay. Arunta said, let me read exactly what he said because I think it was key to this. Arunta says, Mr. C really said Vanessa should lead us in the bad as the apostle of hate that she is. And you know, I really said it's just because of she's the one that came first, to be honest. The fact that she happens to be the apostle of hate leading us is just a happy coincidence. All right. A second on the Elizabeth, please tell us what you do not quite like of in a Lagos love story.
Oh, that's so easy. So first, let me say I like this. I like this film. You will not believe it, but I've watched it twice. Again, it's inoffensive. And I like it. Like I watched it, I was cool. But you know what really annoyed me here is everything. Everything, because I'm not watching a bloody YouTube film, which I shouldn't have any expectations of, right? This film has skill. It's got the money. It's got the characters. It's got the pageantry, right? So the least you can do is deliver a tight, even passable film, which this isn't. And I just like it because I just really like it, I promise. So I asked myself, what if this is from a serious director who can actually write and who actually knows story and can actually direct? Maybe Jade and Nas should exchange. Maybe you should give the story to Jade, should direct. And he should never direct and never write again. But I'm talking too much. So let's start from storytelling as per the plot and all the act. This story, like everybody has mentioned, is pretty straightforward and has all the set pieces, all the elements. But the execution is just not there. And I mentioned it good that this film
something around the symbolism, especially around the two sisters, right? Out with the old, in with the new. Oh, I'm holding on to the past. And this is a lot of symbolism, right? That the film is trying to explore. We're seeing taking advantage of people, rich people, taking advantage of mini slavery in music, all of these things that never went anywhere, that peaked and dropped, did nothing with it. So I've never seen anything Abazadi done like this in my life, and I'll point it out. And especially, let's come to the director, because it's really the directing I want to come for. Because when I finished watching it, I went to go and watch what's it called? The credits to see who edited this, directed this. Already we knew who wrote it. But one name was just popping up, Chinaza Onuzo. Well, like, if I catch you. Because seriously, remember when we did Afemefuna and I came on this space and I was just, I was ranting I can't get past Kayode Kasum, putting in the Akira Kurosawa triangle in almost every scene he finds 3 people. At least Kayode Kasum, either if he did not go to school, he was on YouTube, or he read about the past, the greats, and he's trying to experiment in it. Chaz Onuzo, what is his excuse? Chinaza Onuzo, sorry. He has had the chance to grow and even do freedom. Let's assume that all the films he has directed in the past were like him in training. Is he not supposed to have done freedom by now? And I'm going to point it out because so it does not feel like I'm just hating on this nigga. Let's start with the meet cute. Promise was looking at the ruckus at the gates. By the time Kator and herself, they bumped into each other, she was looking at the table. How did that happen? So how is that supposed to be cute? Again, film is about every element. I was not going to find that cute because if it's that I saw that she was looking at an opposite direction, it was at the opposite direction, then they jammed, and that bloody glasses was not in his eyes. Yeah, all of these things come together, and maybe the editor also knows how to edit romance. Everything would have come together. But how are you telling me that Promise was looking at all the noise at the gates? Kator came in through that same gate, and by the time they bumped, she was looking at the table she wasn't looking at initially. Really? That is one part. The second one was Promise started a fight at a party, at somebody's 48th party, and everybody, including the celebrants, everybody just stood around looking, staging, blocking, nowhere to be found. You mean there was a party? There was a fight in front, though. She wasn't fighting at the back. You know how at parties, maybe the fight broke out at the back. There isn't enough to cause so much ruckus. And even if it was going on the side, people have rushed and, again, there was a fight. Celebrant and his wife just stood and everybody was looking. I said, what if this was one of the side attraction? Maybe this is the band. What do you mean everybody was just standing looking? I was watching it because I'm like, okay, it's Chinaza Onuzo. It didn't end there. There was another part where, in fact, every time there are more than 2 people on a screen, the third person will just be standing around doing nothing, like a log of wood, waiting for cue. Then at this radio station, there was one part where Ashake Light said, look at them out there cheering me up. Next thing, we see the fans outside of a window cheering, and the next thing, we didn't see them again. I don't know what is going on in the director and the editor's head. Because that part felt like call and response. I was like, hold up. Where did that crowd come up from? In fact, at the end of watching it, I saw VFX. All the people did VFX. Inside, I said the VFX had to be the crowd at that window. Because what do you mean? And in the end there, guys, there was another scene when Favor came to the block party with Adabi waiting behind him and that her friend. And her friend, maybe Chimeze's character was talking to her. And every camera panned at everybody's face, and everyone was just looking like, oh, there. I was like, what's going on here? Like, people just stand around in this film looking. Like, when you are doing nothing, everybody just stand around. Even, guys, you see the party, that beach party. That beach party, I was confused. Like, there was one DJ, and there like 7 people, okay, not 7, 14. They lined up, and then they were throwing hands, and it just felt so in the middle of empty spaces, and I was seeing white spaces everywhere. And then the girls I said, what going? What's going on here? Honestly, it may sound like beef, but guys, this one is more than beef. Because I'd never seen something. Look, you can as well just be directing like YouTube. And that's why I said I felt like a lot of times the actors were self-directing, and you would know when they were self-directing. There was that morning after thing with Kator and Promise that felt almost natural. And I was like, was that in the room? Because it was looking like maybe it was not there. Maybe just say, fine, do your thing. But every single time, it just feels so shortly done. There was another part, editor. Again, I had to go and look at it. Two people edited this thing. No, I saw their names. I just can't pronounce it. I'll go back and check. Two people edited this thing. There was one scene where the part where King Kator said, I really like you. People of God, it might as well be said to the air. It was being said to the 2018 Toyota Highlander. Did you people know that? As in, I was doing something else. I heard I really like you. I was like, oh, my heart. I looked up, it was a Toyota Highlander. I'm like, I'm not so sure cars can talk. Because what do you mean? You're telling our love interest is telling the other person I like you for the first time, and it was Toyota Highlander 2018. I was like, well, look at that. Look at miracle. And towards the end, I didn't know what was going on. I really wanted this thing to work because, again, all the elements are there. The potential was just left on the table. As in, we did nothing with it. That friendship with the other groupie guy who ended up not being the worst of the bunch. It would have been so nice to see that grow into something. That fight at the end, I will not lie to you. From the 5 scenes towards the end, I was just giving glory to God. As much as I like this thing, I was just giving glory to God. That thank you, Jesus. I don't know what was happening, but I just say thank you, Jesus. I will just keep it moving. Next scene, I did not know what was happening, and you can see that again. The story is there. The sub themes are there, but we did nothing with it. Okay, Kator, they held you down. It's a slavery. What now happened? What now happened? You are fired. They are sending me away, but you guys get the drift, sha. Anyways, Chinaza Onuzo, and let me go and check the editors. Yeah. Anyways, there's an Otas person there. Sorry, not your Otas, but there's an Otas or Osas person there. Bye.
Thanks, Elizabeth. All right, Alan, do you want to tell us what did not work for you in a Lagos love story?
I would like to thank you guys for this opportunity. I really hate that Vanessa got the honorable mention as the number one hater because I feel like I put in enough work. But today, I think that I'm going to elevate myself a little more. You see, the way I look at movies, I like to compare movies to food, like how I experience food. With this movie, what it felt like, when you get a food recipe off of YouTube and then you buy all the right ingredients and you cook the food and it has a really nice aroma. Then when you start eating the food, you find that some parts are burnt, some parts are well done, some parts are undercooked, some parts are spicy, some parts are spiceless. That's what this movie felt like. You don't even know what you're going to bite off of. My first issue, aside the fact that they went to steal Richard Quest's name and gave it as a character in Nigeria, there's nobody in Nigeria that can ever be named Promise Quest. I don't even care what they're coming up with. It was a very unoriginal name. It vexed me already, so I knew I was not going to like this character. And then the character herself now made herself very unlikable to me. First of all, who is Promise Quest? I started that movie. I did not know what Promise Quest was about. By the end of the movie, I still did not know what Promise Quest was about. Initially, I thought, okay, maybe this is somebody that is very fiery. The next thing, she started doing like Bebelube. I did not understand. 1 minute she's soft, another minute she's hard. When she's even supposed to be firm, she's not firm. She was such a confused person, which is why when she said at the end of the film, towards the end, that bitch, she said, I don't like how I am with him. Babe, how are you? Who are you? Do you even know who you are? Because I did not get the person this promise quest was supposed to be. She was on a quest for promise. She did not find herself. Now, another thing that I did not connect to, that thing that they called chemistry, I mean, physics, biology between King Kator and the Promise Quest, it was missing in action. I used Zaki Aze's torchlight to look for chemistry. Ladies and gentlemen, I know see Shimbine. It felt like they brought two people, told them, today we are going to introduce you people. You people are supposed to be lovers in this movie. Or yeah, start acting. The next thing, they started. They were giving us clumsy, they were giving us awkward, they did not know what to do with themselves. I believe someone asked me some time back that if I had cast this thing, who would I have cast in those roles? And at the time I had said I didn't think the issue was so much from the actors, and I didn't think anybody else could have executed it better. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to withdraw that statement. After giving it some thought, I do feel that there are persons that could have given us better chemistry. I don't talk about, like, forget about the rest of the movie. As far as chemistry between leads and love interest, ladies and gentlemen, if you had put Michael Dapper and Detola Jones in that role, they would have given you hits. I don't even care. They would have given me better chemistry. I do not know what was going on between the two of them. I don't even think they knew what was going on between the two of them. The chemistry they were supposed to have, they did not have it. Another thing that we could not find was pattern for many characters. It felt like they put random people there, like, oh, look, let's check if this person fine, let's put them in the movie. Does this person speak well? Let's put them in the movie. And then they did not not know what to do with the characters. Why was do you guys know that Favor was not, like, to me, she wasn't like a lead character like that, so she did not need many ups. Then they went to go and bring Adana. Okay, Adana, she was moving the story forward. She had a purpose. So what was now the purpose of Adana's sidekick V, aside to come and show us that very terrible red lipstick that they put on her face in the beginning of the film? What was the reason? Why did they put Kufre there if they were not really going to use Kufre? Why was Shams Garba mute in that entire movie? There were so many persons that were in that movie that they did nothing with. And by putting these people in the movie, they did not consider the fact that they could have used all that time to show us more of King Kator and Promise Quest, and maybe would have found chemistry there eventually, maybe. But they didn't now give us that. There were so many scenes that you just be wondering, how did we get here? The scene where Promise agrees to date King Kator for 20 million or whatever. I don't know. We didn't even see how that conversation really went about. It was just a very sketchy thing. We did not know what it was about. By the end of the movie, I was like, what is even happening anywhere? They put so many people. Somebody mentioned that they were doing world building. And I remember there was someone that defended it with, oh, that they do world building, that's why there were this many characters, and then Bridgerton, Kinikon. Look, Bridgerton is a series. World building in a series and world building in a movie is very different things. You had 2 hours or less to give us this world that you wanted to create, and you could not, you have to use those 2 hours. You don't just throw in persons. So you need to make sure that this person is relevant. This character is going to push this story. Not just putting characters because, well, I think it worked somewhere else. It doesn't always work. And in this situation, it did not work. I was just so confused. And this brings me back to my food analogy. Because what these other extra characters that were taking up space did, it was just like garnishing. They just used them to garnish the food. And the food no come even sweet. So there is nothing wrong with maybe getting a food recipe off of the internet or whatever. But when you do get these recipes, you should not just be mindful of the ingredients. You should know the measurement you want to put it in. You should know when you are going to put it in, and you should know the time that is required for it to cook. Because what they now served us was food that had a very inviting aroma, and you could see, we don't see vision tire for this place. Now every day we supposed to be prophets for this our NFC. Every time we see the vision, but execution nowhere to be found. We are tired of seeing vision. I said some weeks back that what Nollywood gives us a lot of times is DIY movies. They will give you the ingredients and they tell you to make up the story with with your head. And then you will now see, that's why you will see us will come here and we'll start explaining parts that we were not shown, so that we'll make the story make sense. We just they pad and they go. You can't do movies like that. You cannot leave your audience to keep padding up your movies and keep seeing visions. I know be Odumeje. I know feel they see vision. Please. It's so frustrating when you see a movie that has so much potential and you know that this could have been something good and they had all the right ingredients and the execution just fell flat. That's the worst. It's better to give me nothing. Let me know that I did not, there was no vision to be seen. Then I'll just take it with my chest that yes, there was nothing that could have been done here. And to see something that could have been done and nothing was done, it just frustration. It felt like eating food that should have been sweet, but the food no come, just can't enter eventually. So yeah, too many things, but no problem. Thank you.
It's no problem, buddy. All right, okay. Alana has put in a strong, strong, strong entry. Yes, I agree. All right. Thank you, Alana. Next on Marshmallows, please tell us what you did not like about. A Lagos Love Story?
Right. So, honestly, there's a lot I didn't like, but I will highlight the the 2 points for me that just made the whole thing fall flat for a rom-com. Because I thought A Love Story in Lagos, I it sounds simple, but it turned out that even that is not, like, it was very difficult to execute here. So the two pivotal moments for me were the initial meeting. I'm not going to belabor that point. Like, it was very bad, and I think everybody involved, both, like, even the actors and all, like, even by the time they see the finished product, they will be able to agree with most of us here that that was quite bad. And I thought it was very cringe and awkward, and it didn't get better from there to in terms of chemistry and even believability of their connection. So yeah, that I don't know, for a rom com, it was really bad. The other moment was the kiss that they had on that Eco Hotel Road. I when the kiss happened, I was surprised because to me it just came out of nowhere. Typically, in a rom com, at that point, for that kiss to happen, there should have been a moment of, shared vulnerability. Because I felt like at that point, like between both of them, there was nothing about them that had convinced me that this was really a romance. Like, other than the idea, other than the fact that we know that this is supposed to be romantic, but nothing happened to warrant that kiss. And so when the kiss happened, I'm like, oh my God, like, they don't really rate me. They're just like, yeah, whatever. This is what it is. And I think, yeah, for those two moments, because they were so bad, it just took me out of, whatever it is. So I just continued watching it like, okay, yeah, whatever. Let me just see this thing to the end. But yeah, I'll say for a rom com, it just made the whole experience not enjoyable for me. Bonus point would be after the case and then the video that went viral on social media. Honestly, when I saw that video, I tapped out because I'm like, okay, I think they're just playing with me at this point. Because typically a paparazzi video like that, there'll be an angle, like the person is far away and then trying to zoom in to see what's going on. But the shot looked like someone was standing right in front of them and recording. It's so, to me, I'm like, okay, this is unrealistic. This makes no sense, and yeah, it's what it is. So I think that's what kind of annoyed me with the whole thing is that simple things that would have forgiven a lot of other things that went wrong in the story, they couldn't even do that. And so why should I bother? um I will say that because I don't remember who it is, but someone really liked Linda Ejofo's character, Fadikemi, and I thought that character was very bad because that character could have added a bit more to the story and they couldn't. And let me tell you why. Like Vanessa said, she had a stick up her ass the entire time, and I couldn't figure out why. But I feel like Linda should have played that character as a businesswoman who is very serious about her reputation, the reputation of her company. We all know how chaotic, having events can be, or running events in Lagos, how they can be. And I don't want to get into it so much because even the beginning of the story where Jemima arrived at the event, it wasn't chaotic enough for me to show why those people were like, hell no, if you don't have any access card, you're not getting it. But that's beside the point. I'm talking about Fadikemi, Linda Ejiofor's character. I feel like if she had played it properly as a businesswoman, then we'll understand why, okay, she's a strict person. And so she doesn't, she demands excellence from everybody because, she's running a tight ship and things can be so chaotic and she wants, so I don't know. I just felt that she had a stank face the entire time And there was really no reason for that. But if they had played it up as she's a businesswoman and we see her going about her business, not her just standing there with her face, that weird look on her face the entire time and being rude for no reason. I don't know. To me, yeah, it took away from the story. But if they had played her up properly, then, you know, I don't know. That for me, I just wanted to see that because someone mentioned that Linda Joffre's character was very good, and no, it was very bad. Um, my biggest grouse with the whole thing was that they couldn't show us and not tell us. Like I said, it's supposed to be a simple story. It shouldn't be that bad. You said it's a something that happens over the course of 3 to 4 days. Like, how hard can it be? But they couldn't show us things that were happening, and so we were supposed to just assume. And I tried, but like I said, those two moments, because they didn't happen as they should, for me, I just thought, yeah, the execution of the whole thing was. I think my note said that it should be a very easy story to tell, but the execution was at the level of my boarding school theater club production. And it was fun back then when I was in secondary school, but this is not a secondary school production. So yeah, that's that's all I have to say.
All right. Secondary school production. Okay. Thank you, Marshmallows. I would like to buttress your that kissing scene with the video. Yes, I was watching it and I was going, if you found this, like, you're right next to they're right next to their faces, like the guy I mean, why not join? Oh my god, yes. Anyway, thank you. Ma or MMA, please tell us what you do not like about your Lagos Love Story.
If a Lagos love story has like 100 haters, I'm leading the pack. If it has one hater, I'm the only one. If it has 0 haters, I've left the world, descended, gone to meet my heavenly father. Da 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 da. I I hated so much, but the chemistry. I just want to know, in Nollywood, do they do chemistry reads? Is that a thing? Because did anybody see both of them and say, yes, wonderful, they're doing a good job? Because they weren't. They had nary a chemistry on set. 0, none. I probably have more chemistry with an aunt than they do together. They had nothing. Like, no shared tension, no angst. Body language was 0. And I think I kept on seeing people say, oh my gosh, their chemistry. They even gave them a ship name. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you guys? What chemistry? You guys are just seeing 2 conventionally attractive people looking in their eyes. By the way, just look dead stare, nothing behind the look. I can't see love, I can't see adoration, hate, nothing, just blank stares. And you're like, yes, they look so good together, so they must have some type of chemistry, but they really had nothing. None. I still don't know the moment when they went from, okay, you know what, we don't like each other, to liking each other. I really can't pinpoint and say this is the moment where they had like a big turnaround. Nothing. It felt like I was watching just not even strangers, just 2 human beings going about their day, standing beside each other half the time and just saying their lines, because there was really nothing. Their body language, nothing about their body language said, oh, I like this person. Oh, I might hate this person. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm starting to like this person. You know how you watch a rom-com and you can really tell the moment where there's like a switch, where the person's eyes probably like soften a little when they're looking at XYZ person. Nothing. There was really nothing. And the kiss was so, I thought I'd seen the worst kiss in the world with Effa and Funke, and then I saw this one. And I had to close my eyes because I said, no, 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 Jesus, no. You know that emoji, the one with the monkey one where the monkey is closing his eyes, like when you send when you're shy. That was me the entire time. I was like, I'm so shy. Oh, what is this? What is this kiss? Like, how did they even get to the point where they were kissing? Nothing. Like, they're just not a believable couple. There's nothing convincing about them. And when I watch a rom-com, in my head, I'm like, oh my goodness, they're going to stay forever. They're going to stay together forever. I know for a fact that Promise Quest and King Kator are breaking up the night that they got back together. Something will happen. They are not, something will happen. They're breaking up that night, that night, that night. Not even the next day. That same night, they're going to split. Because there's really nothing that binds both of them together. And they had everything that should have worked. They had forced proximity. They had like the whole I'm rich, you're well, not poor, yes. They had everything to make it work, but just there was just nothing. Nothing was working. And there is no universe, no dystopian world that King Kator is moving tickets at Madison Square Garden. King Kator, King Kator, Badman Fontaine. Badman Fontaine is not selling. When they said Madison Square Gardens, I said, wait, do you mean TBS Square? What do you mean Madison Square? Madison. I'm so sorry, Madison, wherever you are, so sorry. Because no, just no way. Just no way. Like, how? But anyways, it's just not believable. Like I just wanted it to be a little bit believable. Yes, it's romance, it's rom-com. It should be a little bit out of touch. But at the same time, something needs to ground the story. Something needs to bring it back to earth. And there was really nothing. There was just absolutely nothing. I don't even want to speak on Jemima because that's it. The acting, it left a lot to be desired. I don't think I, I felt like she was second guessing herself a lot on set. Obviously, I'm not there, just how I feel. But she probably not just the right lead. Someone else, anybody else, Datola Jones, anybody else. Tommy, what's her name? Tommy Ojo. Just anybody. Anybody could have done it, and so sad to see that beautiful casts could not make things work. And then the meet cute was so cringe. I'm sorry. Yes, romance meet cute are meant to be cringe. I love a cringe meet cute, but this one was just so badly done, so poorly done. The editing, much like Elizabeth said, the editing was so bad. Things were just so out of place. It almost felt as if different editors worked on it without sharing notes. So it's like, oh, I'm editing this, but you don't know what I'm editing. So then you do this. It was just terrible. And then the side characters, I'm sorry, very flat. I know you guys are saying, oh my gosh, the side characters are great. They're very flat side characters, in my opinion. Except maybe her sister. I liked her sister. I think Susan did a great job as what's her name? Peace, Favor. I don't know. But
Favor.
I think Susan did a great job. But it just didn't add much to the story for me. VI. She didn't add much to the story for me except the horrible fashion for someone that is in fashion. But okay, didn't add much for me. Adana was beautiful to look at, beautiful gowns. That's all there was. Susan's boyfriend, sorry, best friend, boyfriend. So many things that did not add to the story. I just didn't, not my cup of tea. I tried to rewatch it ahead of this space, but I couldn't. I couldn't get through it. I just didn't like it, honestly. That's it for me.
Thank you. Well, we move on. The High Priestess, please tell us what you did not like about the Lagos Story.
Okay, so I'm going to try and be articulate about what I have to say. I'm going to start by saying rom-coms are actually one of the hardest things to direct, especially for us, because our society, we're a deeply dramatic society, even in our daily lives. So most of our stories are told dramatically. When you now want to shoot a rom-com, which goes against everything we are as a people, which is mostly unserious, mostly playful. We don't like to be seen in that light. And I saw that in a lot of the performances. So Gemma is gorgeous. I feel like she's talented, but she takes herself very seriously. And it comes through when she's playing characters. It works for dramatic characters, but in a rom-com, we're supposed to be suspending belief, which means all of the things we are nitpicking at right now, we should be able to actually not care about because the story is so gooey and funny and we're having a good time. We should be able to suspend belief. We're seeing all these little things now because the performances didn't draw us in. The pacing was way off. So I could always tell the point in the story where the comedy is supposed to come through. But this is a rom com with almost zero comedy. Yes, there are little things we'll notice, like the guy everybody likes, the groupie guy. You know those little things, he had these little quips that were funny here and there, but that's not the point. If you have a properly paced rom com, the rhythm should be going up and down. So there should be sense of urgency, there should be tension, And all of that you get to by playing around with the pacing. You increase tension by using close-ups. There were barely any sensible close-ups in this thing. You use close-up, the sharp, quick editing back and forth to convey tension, convey sense of urgency, so that we have a very nice build-up to get to the kiss. Bad kiss aside, besides that, if the thing was properly shot, that video that everybody's complaining about, you could easily explain it. Oh, but they zoomed in and all of that. Because if this was done properly, none of any of these things will matter. A lot of time was spent on, yes, I appreciate the attempt at world building, but a lot of time was spent on the background stories in such a way that the entire thing started to feel like a documentary. So it's like, oh, show these people. Jump next. Okay, show these people. We need to show these people. So there's no thread that's like tying these stories together. It's the rhythm is way off. And again, back down to pacing. Um, what else? The casting is a bit off for me. And again, I can go back. I can basically blame this back on performances, directing, and pacing. It probably would have worked if the characters, the um casting felt off because the characters there was no chemistry within between any of the characters for me. Everybody was flat. It felt like everybody was performing in their own different version of the movie. So energies were not matching. Um, people were not matching intensities. A scene that is supposed to be like an argument was playing like a slowly this thing revealing drama, or and everything was just off. And that's where I think a lot of the discomfort came from, because you're hearing the words coming out of your mouth, you know what this should feel like, you've seen the way it's set up, but the performance now doesn't match the scene they're in. um there was no chemistry between the background characters. So that thing where people are just standing around, the scenes that are supposed to have chaos don't have the chaos. Again, all of it goes down to the pacing, because the way you edit something that's supposed to be high tension, that's supposed to be chaotic, is very different from the way you will um, edit something that's supposed to be like a slow romantic seduction type situation. The entire film was edited and shot and performed on a flat line. So we're basically watching a rom-com that played out as a drama, and that's where the entire disconnect came from for me. What else? The colorfulness that everybody liked was a problem for me, because it started to become distracting, especially with um the fashionista sister. I mean, she's supposed to be like this brilliant. Why did we need so many clashing colors? We could have done colorful without having like random things on screen that literally almost was hurting my eyes at one point. What else? Absence of comedy, performance felt off. Uh, again, all the elements were there. It all boils down to the choices the director made, because like somebody was saying, the actors, it felt like they were directing themselves. Jemima kept falling to her regular performance mode, which is more drama based. Um, Uti was just chaotic. Again, that could have been the way the character was supposed to be, but it didn't come in because everybody else was in their own thing. Everything just felt like it was clashing. There was no cohesion. I'm trying not to nitpick and just go down to the fact that rom-coms, again, I just want to emphasize, they are one of the hardest I know we take them on seriously. They are usually one of the most expensive to make and one of the hardest, because you require a lot of background characterization. So you need people because when you have there's so many scenes with this where it was just the two of them, where it's just two people on screen. You can't really get comedy out of two people on screen. You need other things going on in the background. For the things the two people are doing, there should be like a disconnect that comes off comedic. If it's just the two people on screen, you're looking at a drama. So, and there was a lot of that, two people on screen. There wasn't enough of the background characters interacting with themselves. Whenever we had a lot of people in the back, they mostly were standing around. There was no sense of urgency. There was no, everything was just, I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I think you get the gist.
All right, thanks, High Priestess. And I agree with you a lot of the things. Well, not everything, but a lot of the things we're complaining about would not be a big deal if a bunch of core things worked. But can I tell you that one with the camera, this thing, no, I will insist because here's the thing, like you know how you say you can explain it with a zoom, that might
I'm just
work
giving
if
one
literally.
explanation. I didn't say
I,
that
I
is,
know, I
because if
know,
it
I
worked, we could have easily overlooked that.
I know. That's what I know. I'm saying. Me, that's why me. I would just say I want to stand 10 toes on that camera distance because this thing, even your explanation with the zoom thing, like if we could buy that, if literally like 30 seconds before that, we did not see somebody on their phone zooming in on this guy dancing. We know what zooming in on a camera looks like. We know what when somebody's just standing right next to it. It's like even if you don't know, trust me, your brain knows the difference. And
Fine,
they
fair
were,
enough. You win.
yeah, they were very close. That was crazy to put that. I just like they could have done on and they already. That's the thing. The they already had the layout. They've already done it before once with the dancing. Just do the same thing again. I don't know why they needed to do the. Anyway, it's not my turn. It's not my turn. Otas, if you're here, please tell us what you did not like with Illegal's Love Story. As an
You know,
Aussie Stan
I'll
account,
go
go on.
after on the car. After.
Okay, she go after. All right. Okay, Nduka, do you want to tell us what you do not like about Lagos Love Story?
Hello. Okay. Yeah. So, what I not like about it, I would say it was a rather boring movie to watch. So that's the main issue I had with it. I studied like the week it came out, then I paused, then I had to finish it this evening. So I had like 2 weeks break in between, but I was bored last week and I was bored again this week. So yeah. Um, the kiss. So the thing about romance films is that you can just be watching a romance film and you're not really like the characters are not really selling it to you until they kiss. You can be giving the film an opportunity. It's not really going as you want until they kiss. That first kiss is very, very important in a romance film. How it's shot, how the characters react, the effect it has, like all that is very, very important. And here it just falls flat. It maybe falls flat because they barely spend time together because Ashake always has people around him all the time. You get, which I guess it makes sense because if you see all these guys in real life, they always have people around him. We're really, the other time, the Beyonce's daughter was dating Bonner Boy and she was going on dates with everybody in his entourage. So I kind of like want to mercy for them there because I guess that's what happens in real life. They are barely ever alone. But how, Jesus Christ, how did she not slap him? This guy just kiss you like that, just like that. Because I did not even see you like before then. They've not even looked at each other in the eye, lovey dovey. It may seem like I'm just joking, but I'm not. Like they didn't even look at their eye, lovey dovey once. Emeka Ike would have at least looked into her soul with his big eyes if this was Emeka Ike. Oh God, bring back Emeka Ike.
No.
No yearning. Where is the yearning? Where is the angst? That's the
I
thing that you
bind
like
you,
about love
Emekike.
film. That's love film. When you're watching a love film, your heart go on. Celine Dion sang it in music. My heart goes on and on and on. Did you feel like these people's hearts were yearning for each other? It's not about acting. Forget that acting. Forget directing. Did you feel like these two people that they really love each other? No, now. They now had sex, right? After they went to club and then they had sex. Such a sloppy nonsense. They could have been kissing each other, have a sensual music playing, and then the light pans out into the moon and cut. No, we just wake up to see them in bed. Oh, that how rowdy, loud alarm is ringing. Where is the romance? Set the mood. Then they make film self. Set the mood in your film. If a film is a vibe, where's the vibe of your film? Where's the you're not just acting, you're creating a vibe of romance. Do I want to watch your film on 14th of February? Is it this movie that I want to watch on 14th of February? Show me romance, show me yearning. Urgh. Even Jim Ike used to yearn. Have you seen Jim Ike and Rita Dominic? Jim Ike could be forming what he used to form with his big Akbobi American accent. I wanna gonna, and he will still be yearning. Well, please, that's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you, Ndika. All right. Atasa, you ready?
Yeah, I don't know
Uh,
how I'm going to top that.
okay. As an
Uh,
Aussie stan, go on, tell us what you
oh
don't like about
man.
him.
Yeah, no, obviously, this is a Aussie fan account. I do think Linda should sue her and everybody else who was involved in her character, her story, her outfits. Um, Linda was wasted in this, unfortunately, and so were a lot of other very gorgeous women. Um, what's her name? Uche's character and that whole storyline that I'm not sure where it started out of or why it ended and the way it ended. Like it just kind of gets forgotten. Like that's it. That's it. It ends and that's the end. There's just a lot of things in this movie that don't serve any purpose and just exist to waste time that could have been used to further the romance they are purporting to tell us. Um, and I don't think it's a rom com. There's no com in this. If anything, it's a drama. It starts out dramatic, continues dramatic. But anyways, this did take me a while to watch. I had to watch this movie over a few days. After like the first 40 minutes, I would zone out. And then rewind like 20 minutes later when I realized I'd zone out and then zone out again. And that happened for like 3 days in a row. I did just finish the movie. I'm still not sure I watched the last 20 minutes, but I think I got the gist of it. And it's not a long movie. It's an hour and a half-ish. And you feel every minute of that hour and a half just because there's so many disjointed things going on and you're trying to figure out like what is happening. There's like four stories in here that feel like it was reading by four different people, shot by four different people, edited by four different people, and then put together at the end of the day by four different people. There's the whole subplot of the family losing their home, which is supposed to be an emotional subplot that is completely useless and I guess only serves for Walmart Ashake to purchase the home at the end and oh my god, he loves me, he brought my home. So great. The bit about her mom dying and their little first festival, useless. Like I don't know why that was thrown in there. Like it did nothing, added nothing to the story, removed nothing from the story. It's just a waste of 5 minutes of story time. Um, the sisters are okay, but I don't even like the sister subplot because I don't I don't quite understand their own chemistry. They play conflicting characters that are just not handled correctly. There's obviously the irresponsible younger sister and the overly responsible older sister. But even with Jemima's character taking on the bulk of the responsibilities, like there's the scene in the fashion show where she decides that's the moment she's going to check in on this most important assessment at a fashion show she didn't even know her sister was in. And it's like you guys are home every day. We see like four different scenes of them talking about nonsense. And then they decide at this moment is when we need to know about this assessment. It was just very chaotic as a movie. And usually the things that movies like this have going for it is the fashion, and the fashion was incredibly disappointing. The fashion show was nice. However, the day-to-day outfits for many of the characters, especially in the roles they were playing, were very disappointing. Linda being the most somebody had it out for her on that set, unfortunately. Um, every outfit she wore made her look 5'1". It was just not great. And then my last thing here is that they were trying to show wealth, I guess, but it was incredibly low budget. Every single event was incredibly low budget. Concert was incredibly low budget. The billionaires dinner, incredibly low budget. Like if you asked me to stand up and perform at that thing, like why? It was very offensive, the whole setting of it. But I know it's not Ozzy's fault. I just know it. I know who the culprit is. I'm not going to name any names. I just it's just unfortunate. But if they start suing people for this, I will help Ozzy's legal defense because I know she's innocent. However, this is not a great story. Was not a great movie. It doesn't even, and I didn't like Christmas in Lagos, but this movie does even less than that. I don't even know why it's called in Lagos because Lagos is barely a subplot even in the storyline. There's too much going on.
Thank you. Thanks, Otas. All right. So I see you cooked Ozzy's film and just say it's not Ozzy's fault. Okay. All right. We see you. Anyway, Wolf. Wolf is not my here. Who's after Wolf, Mrs. C? Edwin. Okay, Edwin. Edwin, please tell us what you felt about the Lagos love story.
Okay, so I had to come out of retirement for this because oh my god, wow. Like I thought Christmas in Lagos was bad, but this is like you want to leave Lagos alone. We've had a Lagos Christmas. We've had a Christmas in Lagos. Now we have a Lagos love story. What is going on? Is it that people don't live in Lagos? Like what? Okay, so let me start. Let me just start first of all with the idea of the rom-com. High Priestess said something about how rom-coms are difficult and everything, and that two characters in this thing. I want to present Fleabag. A lot of the emotional tension in Fleabag as a romance happens between her and the priest, and they're alone. And they use a very interesting device, which is that Fleabag as a character is a contradiction. She is a walking contradiction. And that is why a lot of her love and her inability to love makes so much sense and it resonates. The core of this film's problem is that none of the characters had any interiority. So there was nothing for King Kator to love about Promise because Promise had no interiority. There was nothing interesting about her. She had no personal hobbies. She had no interior life that he could like look at the side and see her maybe knitting or that she has like a chess club that she goes and it's like, oh wow, you're a human being. You have interests that I like. There was nothing. And so there was nothing for him to like. There was nothing for him to like latch onto and say, okay, outside of this conflict that we have between each other, there's this thing about you that is special or interesting or unique that I've never really experienced before. You show me a new perspective. There was nothing. And so even Favor, everybody was just, and it's partly because the actors themselves have very specific niches that they have never been challenged. I feel like Jemima's character should have been King Kator. This film would have worked if she was the musician. Because Jemima essentially has the energy of a housewife. She's like a character from Real Housewives, where they have no personality. They're extremely, very, very like closed off, and every line, every scene, every action is determined to get a reaction, and that's how she plays the film. She's very like it feels like she would use a handkerchief to shake a fan. That's the kind of person that she is. There's no humanity. There's no this thing, and Kinketor is essentially a groupie, and so it's like the person that's supposed to be grouping for Kinketor is the person that has all the riz. And then Kinketor that's supposed to be the person with the riz is essentially a groupie. And then Uti is there doing area, wafi, area. I'm like, what? Why is Uti in this film? Like, why does King Kito have a manager then need a concierge? What is the manager doing? What is his job? If the manager cannot get you to do the things you're supposed to do, what then? Why do we need a concierge? So, in fact, the film is just it's like a whole cornucopia of contrivances. How they meet is a contrivance because why are they doing the interview at the place that they are doing something else entirely? Why, like, you don't have office, you don't have like a place to do interviews. Why is that happening? Why is King Kator wearing reflective shades, not just regular reflective shades? And then they spend 5 minutes doing meet cute. We are looking into each other's eyes, and Jemima is looking into reflective shades. So essentially, what you are telling us in the film is that Jemima is a narcissist because she's looking at herself in his glasses and falling in love with herself. So it makes sense that if this is the first scene that we see of Jemima, that she will never fall in love with him because she doesn't even know, like she spends 5 minutes looking at herself in his mirror. Oh God, oh. See, I am pissed. There's of course the idea of there's a subplot about the house. Do you people know how much 20 million is? That they just keep throwing 20 million around. Oh, 20 million here, 20 million there, 10 million here, 20. And I'm like, okay, if you like actually treated 20 million like it was 20 million, and then you played the characters, their motivations, their actions, that this was 20 million, we would feel it. So we didn't feel anything because it just felt like a contrivance. Like I, uh, God, then okay, there's something specific I want to mention. There was that assistant that gave Promise's character a good luck pin. What was that about? Why did that? Like, I know somebody, like some either the director at some point, somebody script editor, because I know it's not Ozzy that did that. Somebody else did that. Like I was like, oh, what would be really cute now is for somebody to give somebody a good luck pin. For what
Can I ask?
exactly?
Can I
Why?
buttress your question? King King
Please do.
Kator then removes the good luck pin from her chest and never gives it back. Why?
What is going on? What is going on? Like, I know that the editors were just shy. Like, they will open it because I know that the directors are usually in the editing booth with the editors. The editors were just, I'm sure they could not meet his eyes because they were like, girl, what is you doing, honey? Girl, did you actually film this thing? I like, no. See, if I'll keep going if I keep going. So I'm just going to say that, see, this film suffers from a train wreck of contrivances. It's built on contrivances. There's no interiority to any character. We never spend enough time to know what makes each character tick, why anybody would like. So we cannot even fall in love with them. So if we cannot fall in love with them because they have no interiority, there's no way that any of the characters will fall in love with each other or see each other as human or understand that each other, a character is flawed or complicated. So we can kind of root for them despite their complications. Everybody was straightforward. Everybody was boring. Everybody was lazy. That kiss was, oh my God, the horrors. That thing is like if there were Razzies, that thing would win Razzies upon Razzies upon Razzies because God, I beg. I'll just stop here, please. I don't keep going.
Oh wow! All right, okay. Thank you, Edwin. Just quite a few comments have come through. I'm just going to scroll through some. All right. So Zainab has said, dislike. I was fully ready for this to be a cheeky, maybe even cringy romance movie, but the romance was just absent. Jemima didn't feel confident enough to own her role as a lead. Bad directing, and Michael was just all over the place as Kato. Also, many relevant side plots. Ricky, this is pushback, but Ricky says if you have visited South South, you will find someone answering Quest. I know someone's family name is Governor. I feel like that's the first name thing, though, isn't it? The South South people have last name like Quest. I know Japan. Japan.
Yeah, they do. They have all sorts of names.
Right.
They have all sorts of
It's
names.
true. All right, Japan. You guys are wild. Okay, Sharon Julie says directing was a major problem in this movie and don't think the actors were skilled enough to carry this song. Right elements, good story, rubbish execution annoyed me so much. King Kator as an artist named to side eye major. Snacks season said what I did not like, the story was chaotic, haphazard, and many times made no sense. Diabolical levels of cringe, diabolical. Where Promise was singing Kato's songs, the leads had no chemistry. I kept waiting for the love story to start, and next thing I knew, they were kissing. Characters for whom flat would be too generous a description. The pacing felt powered by cocaine. And there were so many details and characters that were unnecessary and made no sense. For example, the storyline with Adana made no sense. As Abby said, DIY movies has sent me. And then snack season. Snack season continues, and I think I especially hated Promise's fit. Her outfits were terrible, and those Aquila shoes did her really dirty. The outfit she wore to visit Kate at the hospital, was that scrubs or what? Ugh.
She's a doctor now, so it makes sense.
To be honest, can I say something? The thing me I asked one time when Suzanne's character was, it's like it looked like apron. To be honest, I was like, why she wear apron? It's just apron with small effigy on top. Anyway, Crown said dislike there was no build up or anticipation to make us look forward to romance. When they finally kissed, I was so confused as to the why and how of the kiss. I was even surprised that Promise herself wasn't shocked. All right. Okay. So we'll continue if there's more comments. Mrs. C, tell us what you do not like.
Sorry. Before Missy go, I just want to add one more thing. I think now we can all agree that Uche Montana cannot act. At least let us put that to rest.
Hey, no,
Cannot act.
Wow.
If you
no.
want
She
it, the
was
director will
barely
come.
on screen. She didn't dare for more than 2 seconds. More sober.
All right, I see we're gonna pick this up in the pushback section. Anywho, all right, my bad. What did I not like about a Lagos love story? As a number one Lagos hater, sorry, not sorry, nobody should come for me. I know you people are very precious about your Lagos. I don't like that city. I feel like Lagos could have been a character in this film. I don't know. I feel like this film is mistitled. It should have been titled something. And it might seem like a nitpick, but it's.
Put in the title.
If you put it in the title, you need to do something with it, right? Like we had which was it Lara and the Beach?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Was there any music in Lara and the Beach?
There was,
right? Yeah, exactly.
It was a musical.
Yeah, Lara and the Beat, and we had stuff with music. It's like this is all surrounding music and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like we should have titled it something else, right? A Lagos love story that doesn't have Lagos as is, a feature in the film or a character, because the city can be a character. So I feel like I've been misled by calling it a Lagos love story. I Promise's character I found very irritating. I found Promise's character just annoying, and I don't think there was any sort of catalyst for the change or catalyst for their relationship, I guess, except that she heard that he went to school, which, oh my God, so shocking that this guy who speaks very well went to school. I am shocked, right? It's not like she was talking to Portable and she was like, oh my God, Portable, you had first class in university. Wow, shocking. Like, come on, this guy. Like, even his locks are clean. Like, he looks like a posh child. Like, it's giving my daddy had money, but sure, he was from the streets. Also, see, Uti's acting, I hated, but I always hate his acting, so that was fine. That was as expected. There were some things that I just didn't understand. Like, I think somebody mentioned like his manager. Like, if his manager can't control him, why would they think this babe can control him? And it wasn't that his manager couldn't control him, which was one thing that made me side eye as well. And it's just a dumb little thing, but like it's like his manager seems uninterested in making him do anything, which makes me think, how did we get to this point in his career? Because when he said, since what they manage Kator career, I don't know if he had to do or something like that, I was like, oh, you're his manager? I thought it was just part of the entourage. I didn't know this guy had a manager. Because what do you mean he's not showing up to engagements and contracts and it's all chill? Cool. Then, sorry, I'm going to say I did not believe the stakes, right? You watch romance, you believe the stakes, right? You believe the stakes. Depends on what's happening, you believe the stakes, right? Let me try and think. What am I thinking of? See, yeah, I'm not even going to go far to like proper romance and just Hallmark. small town shop about to close down. A city person comes and joins the village apple bake sale or something or the other. They shall stake. Somebody's trying to save Christmas. Somebody's trying to save family business. I didn't believe this guy's stakes, the Ashake stakes. I didn't believe it. Oh, they're making me stick to this contract. But I could have been making this money in Madison Square Garden. So that's the fact that I had no sympathy because you're a grown man and you signed a contract. And it's not a 360 deal or anything like that. It is, I will do like 5 shows for you in a week. You signed the contract and I don't care. I don't care that a better deal came along. Sorry, not sorry. But secondly, I'm like, I don't buy that you are this tied to this contract because you're not showing up. I don't understand. I don't understand how this is such a big deal of they held this contract, waved it in my face, and I couldn't go to Madison Square Garden. But I'm not going to go to all the things I'm contractually obligated to go to. Not that I was phoning it in. It's just I'm not going to go. And then this is the babe that's going to make him go. I was like, okay. And again, I don't know if it was Uma that said, like, look, if you had made some of the other things hit, I'll be like, whatever. Right? Whatever. It is what it is. Bippity boppity romance. Keep it pushing. But they didn't. And so I was like, I don't care about these stakes. I don't care about this person. Also, missing element of there was not one. It's a nitpick. They did not discuss this romance with anybody. Right? Not really, not until that end, right? Where Promise was telling her, was it Promise or Favor was telling Promise to go and get her man. Like on a normal romance, this thing, somebody will discuss it with somebody, right? Nobody had some outside info, outside opinion, some teasing, no musing over this relationship, no, oh, this I shouldn't, or hemming and hawing. Small thing, we have kiss. Next thing, our slippers are by the bed. Just from where to where. And I know everybody has talked about how bad the kiss was, but I would like to reiterate that kiss was bad. Now, the kiss after they had engaged in adult activities, post a few shots of God knows what they were drinking, that was better. I was like, yeah. But the first one, the moment, I don't know who said they don't know why she did not slap him. Truly, that's the kind of kiss that is followed by a slap. But alas, this was our Lagos love story. But honestly, it was there. It was fine. Like I wasn't super offended by this. I was just like, what a shame.
Hey, finally what? Finally. All right. My things I did not like. All right. So Mrs. mentioned Lagos belly features. These are the smaller things for me. Linda Ejiofor's like permanent scowl that she had in the film. Nothing works if it's always at 100. Like it means nothing, right? The very first shot we have of Linda, she's already scowling. Yeah. It's like it just feels like she's deeply unhappy. Just so like it doesn't make, when she's upset, it doesn't mean anything. You can't just always be at 100 all the time. I don't know whether that was Naz's direction or whether that was Linda's choice, but did not work. In fact, if it was Linda's this thing, Naz should have gone, no, we need to take it down so that when this happens, it means something. Jemima's Lionheart moment, where she was going to do with Agbero Boys, I put it in there just because I thought it was that scene is a perfect example of so many things that don't work about this, and I'll speak about a couple of things more. But one of the things that is just particularly weird is the staging. I would not usually talk about blocking because we have not reached there, but this one was especially bad. A lot of times I was like, why would you come to this shot and why are they arranged like this? You know what? The funny thing is that it feels like somebody who tried to do, but like he just read like the first page of the first chapter of staging and just closed. He could not. It's like I'm tired. I don't want to read again. This is good because like so many times, it felt like somebody was trying to do something with the staging and it just looks so bad. People are awkwardly. It's nothing is as bad as if anybody knows Sharon's 12 from pull up in Alexa. What's the pull up? What's the Flossom? Is it Is it called Flossom? All
It's
right, yeah,
Blossom,
yeah.
yes.
The
The
movement is
12
not.
out the house.
Huh?
The
No.
12 out of the house after that. Wonderful.
No, she was by a car. There was a
Yeah.
12 she did.
Did
It was such an
it's a
unnatural 12 just to be in the right blocking position.
Yeah, it's just she just
No, there was another 12 when his wife came to his house and they were doing a party and she was trying to twirl to turn to the another direction. She do twirl a lot in that film.
she's a 12. But yeah, there are a couple of things like that in this, and the editing for me is also just not good. I just keep on crossing lines and for no reason, to be honest. Um, another small thing I wanted to mention was the alarm for our. It's just a small thing, but why is your alarm waking you up when you're late? I don't understand that.
Because I know she has not snoozed.
If your alarm is blowing, it means it's time to wake up and then you have time. Why is your alarm going up and going, I'm late? Anyway. That's just a small thing. All right. The main thing with this is, for me, is the soul of this movie, which is a big deal. For a rom-com to work, I feel like there are a few things it needs to get right. Our protagonist, we need to know, and honestly, I think everybody has at least touched at different points of this, but maybe hopefully I'm tying everything together. In a rom-com or romance, what we need to do, our protagonist, who's this person? What they like? What they like? What are they trying to achieve? What's the thing? What do they think they want? Because then at the end, we usually find out what they need, right? Well, their want versus their need. Right? I have no idea what Jemima's thing is. It's like there's a money thing going on, but as per what our love, what we should be feeling for in terms of the love, we have no idea. And then what about? I think somebody mentioned Jemima's character, the Badans Fontaine. Who's Badass Fontaine? Because like he seems all over the place too with his thing. Because one minute he's being like sort of this ass, and then sometimes he's trying to be charm. I just it just feels more nothing. There is nothing too contradictory between in his character, but there's just not a lot in there. It could have given something, because the point of establishing rules, giving your characters a particular type of style or motivation and all of that, is that so that we know what they can do, what they cannot do, and it plays with the anticipation. It plays with, oh, given that then this scenario, when something happens, we can start to anticipate, we can start to feel, we can start getting invested. If you don't know what anybody is capable of or what they can do or can't do, we are just watching with zero attachment. We're just, okay, I guess it's just like, imagine just watching a game of, just watching a sport you don't know, you don't know the rules, right? That's sort of what this felt like. And then other things you need to get right in your romance is that you need to so we spoke about the lead, the love interest. You need to know how to introduce things that are supposed to be like almost like worth a wait. So people have spoken about the kiss, and that's very true. The kiss wasn't good. That's another thing you should definitely get right. But there are a couple of other things that again show me that, I'm sorry, direction wise, editing wise, we just don't know what we're doing here. So Michael Follering's naked body. The first time he gets introduced to us, it should be a thing. It should be, oh, this guy's actually, he probably worked out. I don't know whether he probably worked out, but his naked body should be a thing. The first time we're seeing it, his chest, he has his chest out. It's not a bad looking chest, right? It's all right, right? So there's a way you should introduce our protagonist seeing this thing, but no, it's just a wide shot. Oh, by the way, this guy is naked, and it's just like it doesn't matter. They did the same thing, but it's even more obvious when Jemima has agreed to go on a date with Mike's character. She goes to do some fashion change for him. She tries a bunch of different dresses, and then she picks one that makes Mike stand up. It's like, oh my God, yes. They don't show it, right? We're thinking, oh, okay, this dress is going to be, this reveal is going to be serious, it's going to be, and then they go to the party, and then both of them just coming in a white shirt. It's just, don't care about, it's like it forgot it set up that this dress is supposed to really be doing something. It just forgets about it. So it's just things like that. The meet cute, people have talked about that one tire. It's bad. They repeat the slow motion thing, and it has no purpose. Again, for why are we doing it again in slow motion? What's the point? Have you changed something about it? No, it's just they're going to bump into each other again. Why are you putting in slow motion twice? Again, it's just all of these things are just small things that just make you realize that, I'm sorry, Naz is. Do you know what? I feel like Naz is a very, very loyal husband. That's what I feel like. I feel like he's so shy about like sex or just getting too involved. He's just do what you want. I'm sure it's good. It just felt like somebody who was a little shy of really going, no, I think this is what sexy looks like. This is what is going to work. And good on him, good on his wife. I'm happy for both of them. A couple of other things. I think we talk about the first kiss. People can watch that first kiss again at some time. At some point, Mike is kissing like Jemima's chin, the bottom of her chin. I'm like, what? Why editing wise? Why have we left that in there? Why have we left that? Why have we? No, you could have cut it out. No. There were like 3 different kisses. One was up. It kept on going up, down, and then at one point it was like the bottom of the chin. I was like, "Why? Don't put that shot in there. There's no need for that shot to be in there, please." And obviously, the first time they have sex, I thought Nduka did that part justice. Like that's not what you that's not what you do in there. The first kiss, the first time they have sex, all of these things are important parts of your romance, and this film just didn't care about any of it. It just didn't care about any of those, which is again an indication to why like none of this sort of works. I have to say, I think you guys think I'm joking because of my love for Namaste Wahala, but Namaste Wahala actually understands the rom-com much better than this. Much better than this. There is longing and yearning in Namaste Wahala. They meet cute is very, very cheesy, very, very bad, but at least you're seeing them develop their interest in each other. You see them talk about discuss some of this with their people. You see the obstacle in between. The father is like, no, we're not going to have this. Mother is like, no. Like I'm telling you, Namaste Wahala 100%. I don't know why they had to make it a masterpiece by involving the sex part, the rape, the sexual assault part, whatever. That's why something like gold and diamond stars. But it actually understands the rom-com genre much better than this, and that is very sad to say. Anyway, that's me done. Let's go into Pushback. Does anybody have things that they disagreed with? Me, my disagreement is
My hand is up. Oh.
Okay, wait. I just want to say this one really quickly, is that you guys should leave Uti. I think Uti is fine. I think he's annoying. His character feels... I think like his character... I think he's like... I feel like... Okay, I feel like he's...
now.
I feel like his character is annoying,
Is
but I
ha
but I
ha
think
ta 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 ta
I
ta
think
ta 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 ta
I think it works as annoying. I don't even know whether he means it to be annoying, but it
Whether he might
works
have worked for
perfectly.
annoying in this film doesn't change the fact that Uti cannot act. You people cannot rewrite history. You cannot rewrite.
I'm
I
not.
was there when the scrolls were written. Uti
I'm,
cannot act. I
I
was there.
I'm talking
No,
about
no,
for
no,
this
no. I
film.
have
I'm
been
talking about for this film.
traumatized by Uti Nwachukwu's acting. You people cannot do this
Oh
to
yeah,
me. You people.
Valentine, you push back during your pushback. You man, this up. I have things I want to say. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Call me.
Sorry, it's Mr. C. Loba Darole.
We can agree to disagree.
Is that
Like,
there's no agree to disagree.
wrong.
You are wrong.
Yeah, we can agree that yes, yeah, you're wrong. Okay, all right, Elizabeth.
Thank you, because I'm not interested in pushing back on anything in this film. But I went to go and find out the names of the editors. Mapulu and Otis. Is that the name? Otis? I don't know what that is, guys. Again, maybe the fonts is another hit. I hate the fonts. How about that? But anyways, that's not all that I want to say. I wanted to also say that I really want to change my account name to Chinaza Onuzo Hate Account. But the only reason I will not be doing that is because people will not start calling me Chinaza the way you're calling me Elizabeth. I can be a Gaskell. I cannot be Chinaza because I will off myself. So I will not be changing my name. I will be keeping it as Elizabeth Gaskell Stan account. That said, I'm not done, please. Let's talk about a film called 10 Things I Hate About You. Now, this film has a haters to lovers trope. Sisters trope, that is the responsible elder one, their mom is dead, the younger one that just wants to live life, holding on to blah, 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 blah. The one thing I like, really, really like about 10 Things I Hate About You is how it handles sister love or the familial relationship, how they've been at loggerhead. As a sister myself, it's very familiar where you and your sister won't say eye to eye, you're a babe, about so many things concerning the home, because everybody grows up different and all that. And I felt like this is something that is very unfortunate about this Lagos story film, because they did not give Jemama's character, they did not give Promise a friend in which she cannot bounce her internal conflict. And that is why um, Eddie said that we don't have, they don't have interiority to them. And oftentimes, I mean, with all the budget, if they had given Promise a character where we can hear our inner thoughts, our conflict sometimes. Mrs. C mentioned nobody, she didn't say anything about this guy. Maybe she came back from work and said, "Oh my god, I hate this guy. He grates my nerve. When I'm around, I don't know what to say. It just makes me angry." And you don't have to repeat it, doesn't have to be expositionary. It just has to be something, right? And there was a scene towards the end where she came back from where she was humiliated as a waiter. Her sister has already also gone through her own humiliation king. And she got home, sat with her sister, which we see them sit together often. Again, I think somebody mentioned, I think it was a task. They sat down and then she goes, "Oh, blah blah blah, me, promise quest, waiting table." And I'm like, "Girl, do you know that you were hanging balloon in one side there in the beginning? Why can't you wait table? Are you above waiting table? What do you mean?" But that's not even the point. Is that conversation just feels so stilted, obviously so scripted, and there was no heart in it, because this was the part where we hear these sisters come to realization. Maybe this is where they are supposed to find out, that converge in their in their opposition. But it didn't happen in this scene because it was just call and response. I was like, I think you are right all the time. I also think you've been right all along. It's so childish. I don't even know what that happened. And this is the reason, one of the many reasons why this is not a good film. And again, we're losing the art of a good old montage, guys. This film, even if the case was bad, everything shoddily done. I watched that Western film series rather on Netflix. I thought nobody had chemistry there, but there was something there in which you can engineer this thing, editing, directing, sound. You can engineer anything. You can engineer romance. You can engineer chemistry. I promise you. You can engineer it, but nothing is working because nothing works. You could have thrown a good old montage. You could have sit on keke. It happens all the time, but this film did nothing with it. Thank you again, Charles Chinaza Onuzo hate accounts. Thank you.
All right, Mrs. C, please enter Elizabeth as a strong entry for biggest hater. Apostle title coming for Vanessa's.
For somebody that said she liked the film,
for somebody
if
that
Oh,
you're
I
like
not,
like it. I'll
if
probably
you
watch
don't
it a third
have
time.
put her name down, please. All right. Okay. I think it was Vanessa. Please
Yes.
go.
I'm not even going to speak about Uti because there's nothing I can do that nothing you can say that will gaslight me into thinking that Uti Wachiko is a fine actor. Me, I just came here to buttress, unfortunately, some of the things you said, in the sense that we are losing recipes here, guys. And you know the funny part is we've had these recipes, we've used these recipes, and we don't cook soup with sweet before. And so the fact that again, Chinaza Onuzo does not know how to borrow recipe from the internet to make soup. Quite unfortunate because when it comes to introducing things with impact, because that's what romances and rom-coms do, right? When they're introducing things like, oh, they're introducing the lead, they're introducing a moment, everything has to have gravity, and nothing had gravity in this film. Case in point, when our character is doing a shopping montage that didn't really montage. Again, he didn't montage that shopping montage. And then he won a anyhow a blue dress, but they could have made that blue dress stand out. And I will tell you how. I don't know if anybody watched Black Book. The is it Little Black Book or the Black Book? I can't.
The
I
black,
always forget
little
what
black
it is.
book.
The Black Book. TNC's The Black Book. Season 1, because that's the only good season. Season 1 is that night where a this babe character, Teniola Aladeshe's character, and somebody who I think is severely underrated as an actor, Ike Chuku, they were going for a work dinner, and Ikechukwu had sent a dress or something to that effect, or some Sha want something. Yes, he had sent a dress for her to accompany him to this thing. We had not seen what this dress looked like, and he was waiting downstairs by the car. Guys, this thing is a formula. There's a formula to romances and rom-com. If she's not coming down the stairs, she's coming out a door. Somebody is waiting for her. There is gravity attached to these moments. And Teniola walks out, and granted, Teniola is hot. That dress was hot. Teniola's hips were hipping in that dress. But she walks in, and even me, I gasped. So why wouldn't Ikechuku gasp? Why wouldn't his eyes widen? But you have to give these moments gravity. Otherwise, it don't make. So this girl walks into the room. He's lying on the bed, shirtless. And our character, who is supposed to eventually fall in love with this other character, she's not clutching her pearls by how hot this man is. I mean, you people now, what are we doing here? Case in point, again, before they had the sex and after they had the sex, again, no tension. I'm going to bring in a show that some people said, oh, it didn't good. Why the show had its flaws? It's when it did romance, which was why we were watching it. At least me, I was watching it. Beyond the veil, the moment where Zizi wears red. See, you have to make things lead up to make something feel like something. Zizi stood in front of her mirror and rubbed red lipstick. Tell me you do not know why you are going to his house. Even if Zizi wants to lie and say she does not know why she went to Kasim's house, all of us that were watching that show, we knew why she went to Kasim's house in red lipstick. Even Kasim said, you want lipstick for me? The tension, the way this man leaned over the doorway. Nobody is saying don't do a fade to black sex scene. Much appreciated. We don't need to see bodily parts, but you have to make us feel like okay, something is happening. Kasim leaned on a doorway over this girl, and everybody knew what was happening. After the very next day, after they had the sex and she woke up and she was walking away, you could still see the tension. I'm sorry, things have to have gravity. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Do you know her alarm? They pam pam. Sorry, I don't care what people say. That alarm was horrid. I'm not saying. it was one of the few moments when I paused this thing and I went to go and read something else to spark joy, because I couldn't in good conscience continue to watch that film after her alarm went off. Why? Why? Even us showing the camera, showing us them, she basically naked, him shirtless or whatever in the bed. I didn't feel anything. I was like, I didn't even feel like something what's happening has happened. Nothing felt like something had gravity. And this is what is missing in this film. Nothing felt like a moment. Please bring back taking people to go and buy ice cream and running along the beach. Old Nollywood gave us running along the beach and eating ice cream montage. And we bought it because that is romance. I don't care what you people say. Bring back ice cream. That's romance. When they went to the hood to go and eat amala at Menene's restaurant, why didn't he? I'm sorry, you people should, you people should please. Why didn't he feed that amala? I don't care. See, if we're going to be trenches, Edwin said that King Kator was supposed to be a trenches body, and when lies will be lie, I believe him. Because why didn't he feed her amala? Had he been our lead, you would know. You people think I'm joking. But had he been our lead, was actually a trenches lead. Asake in fact, give me a Terry G type lead. And this is a babe who also sort of grew up in the wood, but I obviously do go school, she do polish, she do posh a little bit. I would have bought that dynamic over whatever this posh Ashake with Shadi Poppy lyrics artist was. Give me something. Even the badass Fontaine is not even his own name. So he was singing hailing song for a guy from the Pilar. What are we doing? Eh? What are we doing here? You people should stop this thing. You people, see, all of you involved in this film. Ozzy, sorry, me, Ozzy. I quite appreciate you, Chesty. You say you were going to listen to this. If you are indeed listening to this, I have nothing against you. But if you are willing to sign a class action lawsuit against Chinaza Onuzo, I will help. I will source episodes for funds because I'm trying to, in good conscience, believe that what you wrote is not what they filmed.
Oh God. Hey, all right, Alan, please tell us.
Anyway, standing on existing protocol, as a Nollytube warrior, I would like to buttress Vanessa's points with some movies from the same Nollytube that every 2 market days is getting flack on these streets. As regards romance, I want to cite some movies. Now, the whole they came in and saw him, the promised character came in and saw him shirtless and there was no reaction. I would like to pull up Michael Dapper and Debbie Felix in this one movie that
Where
is
he
that one
lost his
Omoni movie.
memory,
I can't
Abby.
recall the title.
Eh-heh!
Yes, the memory last kinikon
Yes.
kinikon. When she came into the room and he was
And do you know the
shirtless,
best part
the way
about it?
she paused, then she started to
And he
stutter.
knew.
Then she could not even recall the words she came to say. That is a moment, ladies and gentlemen, for
Olana,
the love of God, that is what we
to
ask for.
buttress. You know the best part about that scene? He knows he's hot.
What?
He knows she thinks he's hot.
Exactly!
And he was moving closer.
Exactly!
So you people,
You are in
oh God.
spirit. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Continuing on with some of my other NollyTube um ideas. There was this other one. I'm citing a movie from Film People this time. I will be citing 2 movies from Film People. One of those movies I cannot recall the title now, but it is starring Ray Adeka. And in fact, the 2 of them had Ray Adeka and Onye in it. In the movie, Ray Adeka's character is supposed to be this whole rich boy, and he meets this rich girl. I think something about the hate or something of
Hate
that
at
sort.
first
And
sight. We did
hate
there.
at first sight. Thank you. Oh God, Vanessa, I love you so much. This spirit, we are moving together. In Hate at First Sight, there's a scene where he's like, oh, I'm coming to get to know you, and he's expecting that she's going to invite him to some nice posh place, and he can hang or whatever because he's that guy and he thinks she's that kind of girl. And then she's like, okay, can you do this? He says, yes, of course I can do it. And then he shows up to the venue and bam, it's a farm. and he's supposed to like work on a farm, and he's all dressed in a suit and all that. So now she's like, "Oh, what were you thinking we are going to do here?" And he's like, "Okay, now I have to fold my suit because he cannot just tap out like that. Now he's a big boy, he has already made mouth, so he had to go and start doing farm work and start acting all." But he got to know her in another movie, A Groom for Christmas. There is a scene. Oh, when Vanessa said bring back buying ice cream, there was a scene with I think Brian Okoye's character and Onye's character where they go walking in a park. And normally Onye is this tomboy, independent girl, whatever, all those kind of things. And we don't really know why she ticks at that time. But now this one now she's an elder sister and she has younger sisters, just like Jemima has a younger sister. And she's so responsible. And in that scene, he's talking to her and she starts to explain, oh, this is why I'm like this. I feel like I'm their guardian and things like that. But you get to know her intimately and you get to understand why she's the way she is, how she is the way she is. And this exposition makes her look even more lovable, more likable. We like the character. These are examples from the same Nollytube that tomorrow now they will come and start saying Nollytube no do this one, they no do that one. But Nollytube can give us these things. Then you have somebody putting on Netflix movie that is disjointed. Like I keep on saying that when I see Nollywood movies, I can even give them some leeway because I understand the budget feel not even choke like that or one thing like that. You cannot put something on Netflix for me and then you expect me to do it myself. Make I come dey find manual, come dey explain thing for myself again for waiting now. Like it's simple. Nobody is asking anybody. Rom-com. It's not even that. Yeah, so it may be difficult to write or whatever, but I do not think that the execution is all that technical that we cannot get simple things right. Especially if we have gotten simple things right in other situations with smaller movies, with actors that we have. We even find some people saying that they cannot act, they cannot do this one, but they've been able to do it well in these situations. So what we can't they do again? These things are too simple, too small. Wetin even dey pay me with rom-com discussions in Nigerian movies recently is that I made a very big error. I went to go and watch Bridget Jones's Diary and this Bridget Jones Mad About You, and I saw proper rom-com. And every single time I now watch something that we are calling rom-com, in my head I'm rewinding, oh, the kind of character Bridget Jones was, the whole meet cute with the younger lover and all that. And I'm looking at what we are doing and the comedy. There was not even comedy in this rom-com. I was fighting somebody that mentioned that the movie was a rom-com, and I was like, where was the comedy? Did you laugh? I mean, I probably laughed when they broke Ashake's head when he jumped off the stage. Oh, yeah, I paused to laugh there because the idea that he jumped off the stage to defend his babe was ridiculous enough to make me laugh. But it wasn't even the com was not coming. So I don't even know what we have to do anymore. But these things have been done, like Vanessa said. It's not rocket science. It's not something that hasn't been done. It has been executed with other writers, with other directors, with other actors. We can do it in Nigeria. As dramatic a nation as we are, we can actually do some level of rom-com and give it give it some authenticity. So why can't we just do it with bigger budgets?
Okay. Edwin, this,
Okay,
this is
so
supposed
my
to be
final
pushback
pushback.
question,
Yes, I know.
but
My
this
final
is like
pushback.
bad. This is like bad part two.
Okay,
But glad.
it's partly pushback, part two. I would like to read the lyrics of verse one of A Lagos Love Story by Ira Star, which allegedly is the source material of this film. I got pictures on my phone of you. iPhone storage done dey full. No one sees this side of you. I feel blessed. I trust in you. Midnight calls and rendezvous. I'm decisive, but you I choose. So don't let me down. Won't you let me down? I feel so down away from you. Let's make babies. We are young, but I dey ready. Smoke some weed at the beach. I feel ease when I'm with you. Prayed Ciara's prayer, God came through. You should see my point of view. They don't know, they don't have no clue. It is so easy. It's like, she's like, here are the bullet points. Snap picture of him. We go and smoke weed in the beach. We do some mekwe. I see one side of you I've never seen before. I don't know if I can trust you, but you put me at ease, so I'm in love. It is that simple. Like the source material gives you the blueprint. So how we went from this source material to what we saw, I don't understand. I really don't get it. it doesn't need to be difficult. As Vanessa said, it doesn't need to be difficult. Why is it so difficult? Why are we subjected to this again? Why? Why? That's what I have to say.
Wow, wow. The cooking continues.
I just in their defense, the side to him that she saw, I saw a side that nobody else is that he went to school.
Ah!
I'm sure Mayowa knows he went to
Help
school.
me! Sorry, the funniest part. Not once did this man speak pidgin. Was he using street slangs? My man was speaking Queen's English from the beginning to the end. So is he telling me that nobody know that he go to school?
That's the kind
God.
that's the kind of thing that like somebody writes down in the script and you just like you expect that they know they know
No,
what the character be sounding
this
like.
guy was moving like he went to private uni or
This man, see,
a
this man said it's not good for street cred. I asked, which street cred?
streets.
Which of the streets?
Which streets?
Anyway.
Guys.
It's the streets of Banana Island.
Please, marshmallows, go ahead. Before we do it.
Thank you. So, not too much. I think one pushback that I have, not really, but Uti's character. I just want to come back to it because initially I'd said that I liked that character. I agree Uti cannot act. I agree. But I think that, and I think the word came to me later, is that he was a villain in the story. I think that I think that's how he was written, to be some sort of villain. I don't know if he should have been the manager. I really don't know, but I felt that his presence there was kind of annoying and you were rooting against him. And that's usually necessary, I guess, in that kind of rom-com scenario. But yeah, I just wanted to just make that clear. Then I've forgotten her name now, I'm sorry, but she mentioned that rom-coms are difficult for us to do in Nollywood. And I don't know, because I agree with most of what she said. I think that's the part that I wanted to just have a little bit of a rebuttal, is that Nollywood was like the bread and butter of Nollywood for the longest time was romance story, like RMD and Genevieve, Jamaica and Rita Dominic, Emeka Ike and everybody, Emeka Inyocha and like we have always been able to tell romance.
Darling. There's even darling.
Exactly. Like we've always been able to tell romance. We've been able to sell romance to Nigerian audiences, and we eat it up. So I don't know why. So that's why for me, when I heard a Lagos love story, I was like, oh, okay, this is simple. They can do this. So maybe rom-com, the way what she was saying in the technical, like in the part that we know it in, like, Hallmark stories or Netflix or whatever, typical Nollywood, Hollywood rom-coms. Maybe it is technical for Nollywood to be able to execute, because she's right. Jemima was taking herself way too seriously like she's already a pretty girl. I didn't think she needed to, but anyway, I feel like the movie was lacking romance, period, and that's what everybody here has said. So I don't whether it is, and I didn't think that the comedy needed to have come from um, both main characters. Maybe it didn't come from them. Like for instance, V made me laugh at points when she came on. I thought she did. The other guy who was supposed to be like the groupie that everybody liked, like the comedy could have come from these other ancillary characters. Doesn't necessarily have to have come from the two lead, but the romance self they didn't even give us. So what are we talking about? I think that was just the point I wanted to make, that they didn't have to be comical, but there was no romance there. So the movie just wasn't, I think, yeah, it just didn't do what it was supposed to do. And so that's why for me it was just that the fact that it was beautiful was what I could take out of it, because it wasn't romantic, it wasn't funny, it was just there. So yeah.
Okay. It's been much said about Richard Montana. I want to get back into that. You know what? I think sometimes I've been. I think at first when I came upon Richard Montana's this thing, I was like, I don't understand the thing. But over the last few months of paying closer attention to her, I do believe she has YouTube star aura, right? So I believe in her YouTube star aura. Is there? It's just that you don't have to carry that every role. Not all role needs it, and this role for me did not need it. And I don't think it's something she can shed off now because I think she's stuck with this. Everything must have attitude, and everything must be given with every bit of sass I can in every moment. It doesn't need to be like that, my guy. Calm down. And can I say, look, I'm not body shaming, but the thing is distracting. No, can we all be honest? It's just like it's distracting every time. Just moving around, it's just distracting. Can we dress it in a? I don't know. To be honest, you should not be really standing you from walking about. Should not be walking. It's just
Let
one.
me help you because it really hard need to speak. Uh, anyway, this one is just a general view. I think actors should stop touching their bodies just because as an actor you need to be able to blend into a bunch of different things, and now you start running into problems because they have cast you in the village now, but you have BBL. Or we watched like 5 minutes of what's it called? What's that film? Or Labake or Lododo, right? And they had to like blacken Iyaba Ojo's teeth, right? Because if not, why are her teeth square and shiny in the village in God knows what time they were existing? So I don't know. It maybe just Misha, but actors, can we blank canvas it a little bit? Because there's like a place for everybody inside somewhere, and we can't all start. Can't have everybody just looking the same. We can't have everybody having a BBL. We can't have everybody with veneers. There are so many roles. There are so many places people need to fit into. It is distracting, and it's yeah.
Bless up. All right, Vanessa, and then we'll do our summary.
Yeah. I still believe Uche Montana has incredible potential. Is she stuck in a bit of a YouTube rut? Yes. And it's not just a YouTube rut, it's a thing that Nollywood does. There are people who start off with potential and then they get sucked into this thing where they become stars overnight. There there's we have a directing problem anyways, point blank period in our industry. So the people with a tiny bit of potential are told that they're great, which they are to a large extent, but then I don't think they're directed in a way that enables them to develop even more these said skills, and so they get stuck in a rut. I still believe Uche Montana has incredible potential. She just needs to be with the right director. There's this film that Auntie M was filming last year, and Uche was on the set. I don't know, that film never come out, and I still want to see what that film looks like because I want to see her directed by someone like Mildred Oko and how that pans out. Um,
Chat, why the film? That's why the film has not come out.
hey.
I'm telling you people, don't worry.
Anywho, second point. I know people are talking about Uzi's character was supposed to be a villain, which just also reminded me. Sorry, I didn't say a lot of my things earlier because I blanked this entire film out. Um, and I think one of the things that threw me off was the money that supposedly he was going to pay her to date him. So my own question was she doing a work for free? Because he
My
didn't
dear,
even
she
give
was
her
doing
the
work for free. They don't
money.
even pay her. She buy even
He didn't
deposits.
give
She
her
knows
the
she shocked
money.
me.
So why did it become, and this is my thing, right? Someone just puts, is that thing that Elizabeth says happens where they just write stuff down on a post-it and put it on boards and say, yeah, this thing is gonna happen at some point in the film. They needed some sort of inciting moment that will result in their supposed breakup. and they needed King Kator to overhear them say that they paid her to date him. Which, to be quite frank with you, my nigga, she was already paid to being paid to be in your presence anyways. It wasn't like she was being your concierge for altruistic reasons. She was gonna be paid regardless. One. But like also, she didn't get money in her account. She didn't see Shing buying. She didn't see Shing buying. So why is it so much of an insightful incident to cause such a break?
It doesn't even make sense that they didn't even give
Not
her
even
deposit in that
nothing.
entire story. What
So
do
she
you
was
mean you are
dating him
working
for
for free?
free.
Are you a fool?
Guys, in fact, I'm okay. It's okay.
Except
But
she's not a professional. She's her first time. It's first time. But yeah, and I completely agree with that point because it's not only even that she not collect money. It because of how all of that is done, it just muddies whether her actual real intentions, whether she slept with him for money or she's actually falling for him. There's no part of the movie that shows us which one it is. We don't know. We didn't see how the sex happened. We don't know whether it's because she was drunk. We don't know whether it's because they went out the night before. We just have no idea. It's just like I said, it's DIY. Whichever one you want, make it. Choose your own adventure, make it up in your head, carry the one you want to do, go. All right. Anyway, let's do our summaries. Vanessa, do you want to kick us off?
well, the summary of this film is to God be the glory. I don't know how. I think my summary is I don't know how we can do it as an industry, as people who watch Nollywood, as people who love Nollywood, as people who work in Nollywood, whoever you are, there's a way we can band together and dismantle the institution that is Chinaza Onuzo. We need to find a way to do it now. The evil he has done is enough. Is enough. Are you people not tired? Because me, I'm tired. We go through this thing with this man many a time. We can't let him continue to run amok in Nollywood. And as one of the top guys, unfortunately, we need to do something about it. If I don't know how, if you people are willing to come together and we can as a unit, perhaps if we can make it happen, I genuinely believe we can make Nollywood stronger. We have to do it one step at a time. Cut off people at the feet, one step at a time. We can do it. I believe in us.
All right. Okay. I just want to say for the record, I'm sure the evil was tongue in cheek.
Oh,
Just
of course, it was tongue in cheek.
yes.
Before they will come and choke me, Emma Binu. I'm just saying, in regards to the amount of bad films that have been made,
Yes.
guys,
Yeah.
it's
Sure.
okay.
Elizabeth, do you want to give us your summary?
Yeah, my summary is really, really simple. But to continue where Vanessa stopped, you know that conversation on the timeline where 100 men versus a gorilla? Yeah, it would be how many NFC club member versus Chinaza Onuzo. If we rush him, he will see us come, he will notice. Just waylay him somewhere. Okay, that's a joke. Guys, after all is said and done, I like this film. Also, I don't know what you guys are saying. I watched it one afternoon by myself. I was like, King Kator, promise forever. Still gonna post it on my Twitter now with a heart sign. Love you guys. King Kator and promise. In my mind, it's been directed by Daddy and she didn't write it. So yeah, great. Um so what else? That's it really. It's cute. I really like them. I think they're cute. While I'm watching it, I'm like, flip Chinaza Onuzo, then watch it and like flip Maputo, then just keep it going, flip Ozzy. Anything that happens, if I just don't like anything, I just blame these guys. I'm just like King Kator and promise. Love you. Mwah. Thank you. Watch it. I like it.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. But like as a NFC host, I usually like to let conversations flow. The only time I might interject is anytime I feel that maybe even potentially something can be misinterpreted as an insult or directly an insult. So right now I do want to interject and apologize to Jade. I don't believe Jade Elizabeth meant to put you in the same category as Nas and like just dream that you directed this. I don't believe that she meant that true to her heart. She did not mean it, please. So
No. I
next,
mean that in the part where I like that, where when I say I like the film is because in my head it was directed by Jade, meaning it was good. And she
Jade
didn't
with
have
this.
to write
Please
it.
and thank you. Please and thank you. Don't connect Jade with a Lagos love story. Thank you, please. All
She did
right.
Christmas in Lagos. How
What?
about that? How
And
about that?
who?
Who can
Seven
top
times
And
that?
better than
who?
this film.
Who can top that? No,
And
nothing is better. Who can top
that
So,
that?
film is bad.
wow.
And that film is bad.
It's true. Your queen did Christmas in Lagos. Chai.
The shade of it all. The
Mind
shade.
you, mind you, she wrote and directed Christmas in Lagos. Just say, just say no, just say.
Written and directed.
Seven times better than this
Written
film.
and directed.
Seven times better than this.
Written and directed.
Seven
Mr.
times better
C.
than this.
Okay.
7 times better than this film.
Coach
And
Anyhow,
Master,
still
if you
playing
believe
hot.
so.
yes, still not good. Better than this film. Thank you. All right. I think marshmallows might have been. I can't remember. I've lost. Oh, sorry. Online. Sorry.
Yeah. Information
Yeah.
and
So, so my summary of this entire discussion, as usual, is please. We are a nation filled with lovers. I don't believe, I refuse actually to believe that we cannot do romance and rom-com properly. It just doesn't happen. Like, do you see how much we love in this country? If you come and advertise that you are looking for a job in this country, if you post on Twitter, I'm looking for a job, you will not get engagement. But just go and post, I'm looking for a husband. People will retweet, people will like, people will help you. We are dedicated to finding love for people. So why can't we translate that into our movies? I strongly believe that we can do romance and we can do rom-com together, because maybe the issue is that we can't really, the com side doesn't really enter a lot of times, but we can do it. And we have the personnel that can do it. We have seen it being done. Maybe not on a large scale, but we have seen it being done. So for the love of God, let us, even if we have to call the people that did it well before and ask them how far, how na do am, so that we'll have some level of progress, because it's like the people that used to do it in small with smaller budgets, maybe they don't contact them when it's time for the big things. Let us work together. We can work together. I think that a lot of things that goes wrong in Nollywood is because maybe people are doing now we. So now waiting make, if you don't, so it's not everybody that is within your circle that may know how to do certain things. There are some circles that maybe their own strength is epics. Some other circle their strength is comedy. Sometimes make with a stretch hand, go ask the other person how far, be like say you do this thing well, come, let's see if we can work together so that we can elevate this industry, because we cannot be doing this thing that everybody's just hiding scope, and then nobody's making progress. Please, we can do it. Let's not be doing DIY films every time that we gather here and start doing this what they were trying to do, this what we meant to do. We go come dey explain film again. If I go explain book wey I read for school, I go come dey explain film again. Wetin happen now? Please, let's just come together. God bless everyone.
If you don't take anything from this space, DIY films a banger. Definitely will be using it in the future.
Mhm.
All right, thanks, Alana. Marshmallows, do you want to give us your summary?
Yeah. Um, my summary is that they need to go back again. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. Like, I don't know if I would see a love story part two, but I feel like they almost need a redo of this because it really wasn't that good. There were elements there. They tried to tell a story and they couldn't. I would say they didn't. They just couldn't. And yeah, they definitely need a redo. Um, I would say that personally, it's very disappointing that we're here again, like a movie with so much potential and all of that, and we're here and we're struggling to say things about it. Like the best you can say is that, oh, it's colorful, it's beautiful, and the girls are beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, that's. I don't know. This wasn't a good one, and yeah, they need to go back to the drawing board. I just want to say in case Chinaza hears this, I don't no, like I'm not saying anything bad about you. All I just want to say is that maybe listen, like uh, people have these complaints a lot about your movies. Maybe try to listen to what they're saying and come correct, because it's becoming too much. Like we're saying the same thing over and over again. But like if we're going to, because I was thinking when I was watching it that this movie is like a YouTube movie, but I was like, no, that's not true, because I've watched like movies on YouTube that are very interesting, and so I don't want to say that as a slight or as an insult to YouTube movies, but I just didn't see why this movie should have made it to Netflix or Amazon Prime, but whatever. I just feel like if we have this kind of real estate, we should use it to do something better and not just, put together a shoddy job and DIY film project. I said this felt like my boarding school theater arts production. So yeah, I if you have this opportunity, I think just do better with it. And yeah, this was not much to write home about. Lastly, I want to say, because I said this to Edwin, and I just want to say it here for the record, I think that KK is a bit like a poor man's Ashake. I'm sorry, but I know we've called him Ashake a bit here, but it's a bit of an insult to the real Ashake, because Ashake was probably is much more charismatic, and as an artist, whatever, a musician, it's much better. This one, no, I didn't like the songs either. I don't remember them. So in as much as it was an effort to marry Afrobeat and Nollywood, this wasn't that good. And if we're bringing up Christmas in Lagos, or Lagos Christmas and Lagos, whatever, the one that Jade did, that one was much better. Even the music in there was much better than this one. So yeah, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mashma. And again, that's why I had to apologize to Jade for
Only
for.
the music, oh, only the music.
All right. Um, Ma, please give us your general summary of A Lagos Love Story.
My summary is that Inkblocks should not try this again. And really, Nollywood, we need to bring back yearning, bring back tension, angst, all of the good stuff that makes romance, not just to find people on my screen. Yeah, we just need something, some type of emotion. I want to see like them pulling at each other, getting on their nerves, and not just telling me, show me something. That's pretty much it. Away from that, yeah, nothing else.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Ma. Edwin, do you want to give us your summary?
Yes, don't mind if I do. First, number one, skit comedy has ruined comedy in Nollywood. You can tell that a good number of the comedic scenes in A Lagos Love Story were inspired by skits, and how skits are very frenetic and frenzied, and they're trying to pull out the laughs by force. We need to let go of skit comedy. It does not work in a large film format. Get rid of it. And then number two, watching Lagos Love Story again in the week that Sinners came out felt like a particularly bad slap in the face. Like, Sinners has dominated conversations across board. People are talking about themes, they are discovering history, they are looking at music, they are seeing actors in a new light. There's so much momentum around that film. And that is the difference between a film that is thought through, because Sinners is a huge romance movie. There is yearning. Niggas are yearning. Like, everybody is yearning. People are sucking on things and touching on things. There is yearning. And so if Sinners can do it in a vampire movie, I don't think we have any excuse. Like, this is not like the gap between whatever Lagos Love Story is and what Sinners is so astronomically wide that I feel like shame should what should we take away from it. Like, all the excuses, all our justifications and juxtapositions Shame. I'm just ashamed. So please, I'm begging Ningblo to Nilo, all of you people, like, look at what is possible. Give us a fraction of that. We're never asking for the same level of excellence. Just give us something that we don't have to approach with shame and bewilderment. Let us at least have a level of accomplishment with these films. Let a romance be romance. There's nothing wrong in your film becoming the thing that sets the blueprint for the next 100 years. It's not, there's nothing wrong with it. Nobody's going to beat you if you do it. So please, I'm begging. I'm begging.
All right. Thanks, Edwin. Mrs. C, please, can you give us your summary?
So Shasha, in summary, when I was finishing this film, the second half of it, there were two teenage girls next to me, and they were just and they were really into it. So I don't know, maybe the film is not for me. Maybe the film is for 16, 15-year-old girls. That's my summary. But yeah, it wasn't offensive. It was just, I guess.
I think I identify as 16. Thank you.
I'm dying. Please.
All right. So for my summary, I did this before, but I'm going to do it again. This is Nas director discography so far. Who's the Boss? 2020. The Perfect Arrangement? 2022. The Setup 2? 2022. No Way Through? 2023. A Lagos Love Story? 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, show me where to sign to band Nas. I'm here. From directing, at least. I'm with you guys. Let's do it.
Oh,
From directing, at least, can manage, can maybe do producing and stuff. But this directing team, let's leave it alone, please.
and writing. If you can writing, and I don't want
Let's
to
wait one
be
step by step. Let's do one step first.
No, because
Yeah, he
even
needs to
if you
stop
don't direct
appending his
anybody, if
name.
he should
Yeah.
co-write, Adi
He's
Bini
stop, he should stop
co-write.
co-writing.
He should stop co-writing.
There's an assumption there that he knows story, and it's an assumption because he's the only one seeing it.
Exactly. Come on,
I
he
will
should
also
not
do it
co-write
though, you
again.
guys. When I have money, I'll just be making film. It will be very foolish. It doesn't matter. I'll just be putting my name everywhere. And you people have no choice.
Huh.
All right.
Should not
Thank you.
co-write again, please.
Well, that brings us to the end of our first film in a while. Honestly, if we had been talking about films, I would not even have any. I would have almost zero energy for this because it's just one of those films that I felt absolutely nothing for. It wasn't doing anything right. So, but like it didn't even excite me like a Namaste Wahala would with some bold choices. Just nothing, just getting things wrong, just stumbling all the way right from beginning to the end for me. But I do think of all that, of all the list I read for all the things Nas has directed, I think this is by far the best thing. And that's not a good thing. That is very much not a good thing. That's sad, in fact. But it is what it is. Next week on Nollywood Film Club, we have a few options actually to pick from. It's still a couple of films. There's Before 30, and there's the Behind Din or something like that. I can't remember.
Landline, Uncle.
Landline, there's Landline or Before 30. One of them we might do Landline just because it's short. I think it's
And
like
it's new.
80 minutes.
And it's new.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Really, I appreciate everybody, all our speakers, all our listeners, all the people who dropped in comments. Thank you, guys. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at Iroko Critic and join us every Sunday, 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.